Welcome back to the Safe Space, ladies and gentlemen. It's your man, Fortunate, here with another episode of the Safe Space. I'm very excited to bring this episode to you. But if you're here, glad you found us. Tell a friend about us. And if you don't know where you can find us, we are on Spotify. We're also on Instagram at 52s and Smoke. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at 52s and Smoke. And look us up anywhere, wherever. We're all over the place. But yeah, we got a real interesting conversation that's going to happen here today. But first and foremost, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, especially my mom, my wife, and my sisters, and anybody else in the Safe Space community. Moms, Happy Mother's Day. We love y'all. You're very important to us because we wouldn't be here without you, pretty much. So, yeah, first off, let me introduce you to my people around the table. EP, how you doing?
What up?
Dumpling was good.
What's going on?
Mandy Bugs, you're back. This
is
Amanda.
God, I finally got my nickname, too.
Mandy Bugs, yes.
Hi.
How are you? And Mezzy, what's happening?
Hello.
Welcome,
Hi.
sir, to the Safe Space. We are all here.
Present.
We're going to do a whole episode where we do accents, and mine is going to be like British, like fucked up British.
I do a really good Australian accent.
Do you?
No way.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Can we get a snippet of it?
I mean, I don't really know
because
what you want me to say.
Hello, sir. Governor.
Say anything.
Are you doing an English accent?
I don't
right
know
now?
what it is. It's like just somewhere in that area. I don't know what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, we got to do it.
We're definitely going to do a full episode like that. If you want to hear
Can you quickly say no in Australian?
No.
All right.
No.
No, continue. Okay. I like how I said in Australian. I meant in Australian accent.
Go to Australia and say no.
Yeah. Okay. So, damn, you know what? It's a beautiful Friday afternoon, and we're really enjoying ourselves. But it's some things that we got to talk about. Big conversation about things happening in Georgia. We do record in Georgia, and we talking about the Abortion Act that was passed by Governor.
And it's actually happening in like 15 other states, so it's pretty relevant right now.
It's happening all over the place, which I have some theories about why it's happening now all over the place, but we'll get to that once we fully understand what's going on. If you haven't heard, they passed a bill. Who has the just run down what the actual bill is?
I'll give a synopsis. So, on Tuesday, Georgia Republican Governor Brian Kemp signed a fetal heartbeat bill that seeks to outlaw abortion after 6 weeks. The measure HB 481 is the most extreme abortion ban in the country, not just because it would impose severe limitations on women's reproductive rights, but also because it would subject women who get illegal abortions to life imprisonment and the death penalty. The primary purpose of HB 481 is to prohibit doctors from terminating any pregnancy after they can detect embryonic or fetal cardiac activity, which typically occurs at 6 weeks gestation. But the bill does far more than that. In one sweeping provision, it declares that unborn children are a class of living distinct person that deserves full legal recognition. Thus, Georgia law must recognize unborn children as natural persons, not just for the purpose of abortion, but as a legal rule. There's one more little thing I want to read. I think it's at the end of this article here. Right here. HB 481 would also have consequences for women who get abortions from doctors or miscarry. A woman who seeks out an illegal abortion from a healthcare provider would be a party to murder, subject to life in prison, and a woman who miscarries because of her own conduct, say using drugs while pregnant, would be liable for second-degree murder, punishable by 10 to 30 years imprisonment. Prosecutors may interrogate women who miscarry to determine whether they can be held responsible. If they find evidence of culpability, they may charge, detain, and try these women for the death of their fetuses.
That's cute. So basically, if you are a woman who miscarries and it's not your fault, even though it doesn't fucking matter, you're already traumatized and absolutely heartbroken, and they can actually interrogate you.
I didn't know about that last part. I didn't hear about that last part. No. This is the first time I'm hearing of absolutely that part of the bill. That's crazy. If you miscarriage, you're second-degree murder.
But it's up to them to decide if it's
horrifying.
Something that they can say is murder, right? So, like,
I mean, all of it is defined by the court systems. Once you're in the court system, they pretty much do with you what they will. Yeah. I mean, that's been my
fit their narrative
experience. Like that happens to people. If they want to put you away, they find a way to put you away. You know what I mean? Like what they say, you're innocent until proven guilty.
No,
it doesn't. That's not for everybody. I'll tell you that. And if the whole purpose of this is because they don't want people having abortions, those people who wind up being tried for said thing will be on their radar to put away. They're not in the business of getting anybody off for it. They want people to go away for it because that's why they made it.
And it's going to affect the most vulnerable people, which are the poor, people of color, and young people, people who don't have access to basically just anybody who's not rich and white. So that sucks.
So the things that I've been reading, people that are for the bill, they say, like, oh, well, getting pregnant is hard. You don't have to get pregnant, or like there's ways to not get pregnant. And it's like, so say you're in a committed relationship, you've been with the person for, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever, even a year. And you're doing everything you can to, not do it. Birth control, condoms, and then she gets pregnant. Are they going to say you shouldn't have sex?
No, yeah, that's the mindset of some of these people.
But that's the instinct of humans.
It's not.
That's part of what we do.
Exactly. You can't keep people from having sex. And the thing is, like, I hear so many of these, like, these pro-life people that say, well, it's not that hard to just keep your legs closed. It's like, okay, well, I've been with my fiance for 6 years. So, like, what is that? Even when we do get married, which is what they want, because they're very, they have their beliefs. Even when we do get married and we have all of the agency in the world to have sex or whatever the fuck they want, we still don't want kids. We don't want kids. I don't know if we're ever going to want kids. It's something that it's very possible that we will never have kids. And that's just our life choice. And even if I've known people who have IUDs. I know people who have gotten vasectomies and they still got pregnant. Yeah. So you can do everything right. I've been on birth control. Thankfully, birth control works for my body. For a lot of women, it doesn't work for them. And
doesn't it have like hormonal issues and things like that?
Yeah, there's a lot of women who suffer greatly and they can't take it.
I feel like a lot of the male perspective, even if they are against this, I feel like there's still a lot of things that they don't understand.
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation. But yeah, the fact that I see a lot of comments just being like, it's not that hard to use protection. If you're irresponsible, then it'll affect you. But the fact of the matter is, I think everybody probably knows somebody who got pregnant and they were taking every precaution possible.
I know a lady I used to work with who she had it was a vasectomy, right?
Got her tubes tied?
Yeah, she got her tubes tied or whatever several times. And sometimes you get pregnant in the fallopian tubes.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a serious.
And that happens a lot. But I don't want to put it out there as if this bill doesn't consider that, because it actually does consider certain things, medical conditions that where an abortion is okay, right? Well, are they going to like abide by it and really interact and make sure that those things happen without any repercussions?
It's really scary because I actually saw one politician, not from Georgia, from a different place, and somebody had asked about fallopian ectopic, I think it's called ectopic pregnancies. And this is when the fetus is just implanted in the fallopian tubes. There's no way this fetus could ever grow, and it would result in the death of the mother if medical intervention was not taken. And this politician answered this question and said, well, there's probably a way that they can take the fetus out of the fallopian tubes and implant it in the uterus. There's still no exceptions. These babies are not going to die. And I'm like, you don't even, so here you are admitting that you don't know how the female body works. And we all know that a lot of these men don't know how the female body works. Right. So it's very scary that there are so many people who do not have uteruses who will never be affected by this, and they are making all the rules. Very, very scary.
Crazy. This is crazy. But I think those provisions in the bill is if the mother's life is threatened, they did say if it's a result of rape that an abortion would be legal. And there's one third one that I don't
incest.
remember.
Yeah,
incest. Which what the fuck? Why?
Georgia.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Okay. But it's just like, yeah, if my dad raped me and I get pregnant, can I please get an abortion? Oh, okay, I guess. It's disgusting. It's fucking gross.
It is, but it's like, what's...
Yeah, and another sad thing is that most women don't report rapes because I got raped when I was in high school, and I was terrified and I was scared. And my first instinct was not to report it. I told my best friend, and she actually was like, oh, well, I don't think you would ever do that. I think you should just not tell anybody. I think maybe you were just drunk. That's what a lot of women go through. So their first instinct is not to report it. So a lot of women won't. That's not their instinct. And the justice system, I mean, I'm sure we've all seen these guys will get they'll admit that they raped somebody and they still get no jail time.
Exactly.
And they get hounded by all these people. It's very scary, and it's not in a woman's best interest a lot of the time to report rapes. There's all these untested rape kits that police don't even look at. It's very traumatic to be questioned and to be poked and prodded after you've been raped.
You're forcing every victim out.
Yep.
Which,
and it's very scary.
Coming out, I guess a lot of men do feel that way. A lot of men feel like, if you got raped, why don't you tell right now? Well, a lot of men haven't been raped. So they can't really understand why a woman wouldn't want to come out immediately. They don't understand that. And they're not in a woman's position in society, first of all, because everybody has a different position, and women's position in society is just a little different.
Nobody believes you
than men
a lot of the time.
So coming out for a woman to come out and just say everything that happened to her and accuse the person that raped her, there are second thoughts and stuff. That's why we don't understand why they don't come out. But for that very reason, you don't want to put something in place where now you're forcing, if anything did happen, they have to come out immediately so that you won't go to jail for aborting the rape baby.
It's awful. And another thing is, like, you just went through a super traumatic thing. So your first thought isn't, oh my God, am I pregnant now? It's, oh my God, like, what just happened to me? I just want to, like, you're just thinking like really manic, traumatic thoughts. And it's not, oh my God, now I have to go report it so that if I do need an abortion, I can get that abortion. Because you're not thinking that. I
don't know what you would be thinking, because I don't know. I'm a dude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand it. Which, I don't know. I feel like I have not even a theory. I just think this is what's really going on. Like, behind the scenes. Okay, this is my question. I never understood why Republicans were so hard on abortion. Why do they think it's immoral, you're not supposed to do it? Is it literally only because their religion says so?
They don't follow their religion.
Is it a religious thing?
In other ways.
Well, the main reason for this is they say that all life is deserves a chance.
It's precious, yeah.
But does that come from the Christian Bible Belt?
It could, but I mean,
actually,
from this map I'm looking at, it seems to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's the map?
Sorry,
go ahead.
It's on Wikipedia. Is
it a religion thing? Or?
It just seems to be the Southeast, and
makes sense.
Honestly, I think Ohio is worse than this. They've been trying to pass this thing since 2016.
And Ohio doesn't want the exceptions. If you got raped by your dad, they want you to have that baby. Right now,
Holy
an
shit.
11-year-old girl who got raped is
to.
pregnant and is being forced to carry that baby in Ohio.
In Ohio, is
an
highly
11-year-old
religious, right?
girl.
Is Ohio?
I don't fucking
religious?
know what is wrong with Ohio.
States like Ohio and Pennsylvania are pretty conservative states.
It's pretty gross.
The only thing I know about Ohio is the Jim Carrey show.
Cedar Point.
And Cleveland does not rock.
Cleveland does, yeah.
Bro, I feel like, from what I know, this whole idea about abortion is birthed out of religious beliefs and stances that people have been taking, which have overtaken the Republican Party, since they became the Republican Party after switching over from being Democratic or whatever. Whatever the case may be, Republicans don't want abortion because their religion says so. Which we was listening to Rick.
But isn't abortion in the Bible?
No, actually, I saw some stuff, and it said that there's actual quotes from the Bible that say that abortion is okay.
That's what I mean. That's what I meant.
Right.
Not that it's like a...
And yet you can get divorced. All of our Republican politicians have had like 3, 4, 5 wives.
Right, it's not a big deal. But I'm thinking, like, I was listening to Rick Santorum earlier, and he said, he pissed me off.
That lit you up, dude.
Like, he pissed me off to a high degree when he said, my morals should, what do you say? The morals should determine the laws of the people.
Something like that,
people's moral compass should determine the laws of the world,
right.
as opposed to right and wrong determining it. You know what I mean? Like, they make what's against the law based off of your morals.
Individual, they're in an individual standpoint,
Exactly.
But it's like, there's universally, like, immoral things like murder, killing somebody, stabbing somebody in the face.
Helping people that need help.
But helping somebody is a good thing. That's good.
And that's where I think morals get moved over into the right and wrong thing. It's no longer just a moral.
So for something,
it's universal,
for something like
it's
this,
right and wrong.
For something like this that is so, in a way, down the middle, it's very difficult to have it be like a bill that you have to just go by, because half the people are going to agree with it and the other half are not.
And not only are they not going to agree with it, but they're going to be severely affected by
look
this.
What's
This is going to
You're
kill
talking about people
women.
going to jail.
This is going to, because here's something that a lot of people don't know. There are a lot of countries that abortion is completely illegal, like El Salvador. is completely illegal, and their abortion rates are higher than those in the U.S. It is completely illegal, no exceptions. You cannot get a legal abortion. You will go to jail. Women will always find a way to get an abortion if they need one. So that will mean that if that's outlawed, there are going to be women who are going to these secret places, getting abortions. And these abortions are not going to be safe. They're not going to be sterile. They're not going to be being performed by doctors.
You're going back
it's going to be by
iron,
desperate women
Coat hangers.
who don't have a choice. They literally
and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like this girl who like finally got into college. She's like first person in her family who's in college, and then she gets pregnant, and she knows that she cannot have that baby, and she has to do what she has to do because she has these dreams, and she, it's like very sad. It's very sad, but it's not going to stop abortion, and we've seen that. So. What is it really about? Like it can't be about saving kids.
I know what it's really about.
I do too. Yeah.
I want to know. You might be thinking what I'm thinking.
I'm definitely thinking what you're thinking.
Yeah. I want to hear you first.
I'm thinking this is about this is about the Republican Party, period.
Yeah.
This is about the Republican Party seizing the power while it has the opportunity with Trump in office. The stage was already set when Brett Kavanaugh got into the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. So in order for them to overturn Roe v. Wade, which they wanted to do forever, this is their shot.
Yeah.
So over how long have these states, like you said, there's 12, 13 states that's trying this?
Yeah, they've
law?
always had these in the back burner, and they've always gotten shot down.
Right, but now they're pressing them. All of these states are now currently pressing and trying to put them out at once within the last year in order to do what? Now to fight it in court, which if you fight it in court and it keeps getting turned over or stopped, you keep appealing to the Supreme Court where they can have a go at Roe v. Wade being overturned now that the Republican Party has power basically on the Supreme Court because of the two Supreme Court justice picks that Trump's had.
Yeah.
So I think that's the long play, and that's what's really going on here, and that's why they were happy to get Kemp in Georgia and let him go ahead and do that. Like this was all choreographed. This was all put together.
It's not a coincidence
for this to happen. It's not a coincidence at all.
And what I implore everyone to think about too is when you see these Republican politicians talking about how much they care about kids, about life, about babies, as soon as those babies are born, fuck them. Right. They want to appeal like WIC. They want to, nobody gets universal health care.
Shut down Planned Parenthood.
They don't fucking care about poor kids. They do not care. They don't want people on welfare. They say, oh, you shouldn't be having kids if you need assistance, if you can't afford it.
Well
now you're going to be forcing all of these poor people in poverty who are very vulnerable, who know they can't afford kids and are trying to do the responsible thing by not fucking having kids because they can't afford it. You're going to be forcing them to have kids. All these kids in the foster system that age out, they don't. Can you imagine not having family, not having a single fucking member of your family and being all alone in this world and aging out and knowing in your head nobody fucking wants you? I'm sorry to get real, but that's the reality of it. These kids, I can't imagine being a kid in foster care, never getting adopted, what that does to your brain, to just think constantly, nobody fucking wants me. My birth parents didn't want me. Everybody who came to the fucking place adopted everyone else but me. And when you're 18 and you age out and you don't have a soul in this world, you're going to be an angry fucking person.
Yeah.
It's very sad. So to say that Republicans care about babies and kids, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time believing it.
Every program in place currently, they are cutting funds to for children. Every
school lunches,
help, school lunch,
oh my
Planned
God.
Parenthood.
How fucking evil do you have to be like, if you're poor, you don't get to eat fucking lunch.
Right.
These little fucking babies.
They're cutting funds for all of these situations that would help a mother in need of assistance when they actually do have the baby.
Yep.
They're against all of that shit.
As
but
soon as
make
you're
sure
born,
you have that fucking baby though.
Right. They care a lot about you when you're a fucking fetus, but as soon as you're born, they don't want to know you. They don't want to know your name. They don't want to know where you are. They don't want to know anything about you. And that makes me believe, I know this sounds crazy to some people, but is it not the Republican Party wanting to keep the poor, wanting to keep the marginalized, marginalized?
Yeah, that's how you keep your power.
It's obviously, I mean,
if everybody
the
had
Republican MO.
Yeah.
It is, exactly. And so people are always like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. And I'm like, no, like, why else?
Real thing.
What are they gaining from this?
It's a real thing. Now, we sound like a bunch of people that hate Republicans, which I don't necessarily hate Republicans. I hate some of the things that they stand for. I hate some of the ideals that they push, and I hate some of their agendas. I don't hate those. But when it comes to this abortion thing, I do hate some of those people. Like Rick Santorum, I would have punched him in his face this morning. But I don't hate Republicans. I understand some of the things that they do stand for that I can kind of see and understand as far as financially, some of the things like government, big government, all that stuff. I can
This is
understand
the biggest
those things.
big government possible. You are literally in my uterus. Get the fuck out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you against big government, but then this?
Yeah.
Like, what do you? That's the way that they contradict themselves. Causes frustration in my brain.
It doesn't make sense. And so, it makes you believe, like, what are you really trying to do?
Exactly.
Like,
there has to be a different type of agenda. But I do try to think from their point of view.
I try really hard.
And I'm sitting here and like, how could what is the Republican argument for this?
I think there's a narrative out there. Like, all these movies that are out there now that are brainwashing people into thinking that this is inhumane and wrong and that we're killing babies when really these are fetuses and they don't have any like they don't even know they're human. They're very basic little organisms and they don't know that they're being aborted.
Yeah, that's the big thing people say. They're like, like, oh well, what if your parents aborted you? It's like, I wouldn't know. And people hate hearing. They're like, oh my god, how mean to say. It's like, well, I always tell people, I don't even remember being alive when I was.
Right.
Nobody knows when they were born. Nobody remembers being born. Most people's, memory doesn't usually begin till, I'd say, 3 to 4 years old. Maybe if you're sometimes 2, but usually it's like 3 or 4. So when people say like, oh my god, what if you were never born? It's like, then I'm going to be born.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Like, there's
but it's not my decision.
Yeah.
If I wanted to be
like,
born or not.
It's not something that you'll dwell on because you don't even know that you have life at all. So if it is taken away, and that's why it makes me sad when people think like, oh, like, there's some women that will die in childbirth, that they're forced to carry these babies. And then this is 9 months. I know it'll never affect
Speaking of that, the thing that the abortion one they passed was in New Jersey and New York. A lot of people are getting misinformation saying, you can now kill a baby at 8 months. It's like, no, isn't it saying that it's legal if it's at harm to the mother?
It's finally
But everybody's
legal,
saying that.
Like that
they're
Democrats.
twisting it for their own narrative.
It's weird.
That's
like as if a woman would carry a baby for 8 months. And has anybody ever known a pregnant woman? I've never been pregnant, but I've seen many pregnant women, and I know that it's a very, very hard process. You're in pain all the time.
Right.
There are many side effects. You're throwing up all the time. Your back hurts. It's a miserable 9 months for these women. And the reason that they get through it is because a lot of them are excited and they chose to have this baby and they can't wait to be a mom. And that's what gets you through those 9 months. But imagining like not wanting the baby and going through that 9 months, it's horrible. It messes with your brain.
Right.
And so nobody goes 8 months being pregnant. You got your nursery, you got your names picked out, and you just randomly are like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want this baby.
Well, the current Georgia law on abortion is 20 weeks. It's illegal, after 20, which in my opinion makes sense because even 4 months, even like I think
some people don't know.
When you're going to get an abortion, generally people know immediately when they're pregnant, like, oh shit, I don't want this.
Yeah.
They're not going to wait 4 months.
That was one of their that was a tactic before this bill got put into place. There were some places, I don't know what they're called, but there were some places where you would come in there and they would say they're going to help you
That's gross.
get an abortion or consider your options. And what they would do is
make you see the ultrasound.
Try to push it off until you're past a certain point where
They
you
do
can't do it anymore. Do the
stuff.
counseling and all that shit.
Really
so that
gross.
And it was a report that they were purposely postponing all of these things for them until they passed the mark where they could get the abortion to make people do it. And those are people like undercover, acting like they're going to help you, but really trying to make sure you don't get an abortion.
And they want to pull your heartstrings and stuff and mess with your brain. And it's like,
it's fucked up.
This is not your life. This is not your life. And that's the thing that like really drives me crazy is like, if you don't care about my kid when it's born, why do you care if I have it? Like, you're ruining my life. Right. And then a lot of these Republicans, they don't want welfare. They don't want to support school lunches for little kids. And then they don't want to adopt these kids. They don't want to like donate to these kids. Like they don't. So what do they really want? Why do they do this?
They want control and they want to push an agenda and satisfy the Bible Belt to get the votes of the people.
Yeah.
But really here's an idea. Why is this the only option?
What do you mean?
If we don't want
unwanted
pregnancies.
There we go. Yeah, there are better ways.
There are more ways to not have unwanted, to keep away from having unwanted pregnancies. Why weren't the men getting a vasectomy
I love this.
on the table.
I fucking love this. I was actually just thinking this, and I was like, if I was president and I want to like propose this to men and see how they feel about it, I want to say like, if I was in control, I would make it so that every man has to get a vasectomy at like 16. You have to get a vasectomy. You can't get your driver's license. You can't get a job until you get that vasectomy. And because vasectomies can be reversed. Mm-hmm. So it is a medical procedure. Right. It hurts. Just like abortions hurt, by the way. And everybody thinks that people use abortions as birth control. Yeah, they're very painful. They're very traumatic. But vasectomies are, they're generally easy. You're in and out. You can drive home, and you can get it reversed. So why the fuck not? Why can't we do that as a preventative measure?
I heard this option, which is why I brought it up, and I started like up until right now, I didn't really consider it. I was just like, okay, I understand you're making the point that if it was on the dudes to have to do something to stop pregnancy, they would understand. That's as far as I took it. Mm-hmm. But thinking about it right now,
that's your body.
It's your body, but at the same time, between the ages of 15 and probably 30, most men can't control their dick.
Mm-hmm. True.
You fucking anything that move, you making bad decisions. Like we was talking about earlier, your dick kind of tell you to do shit you shouldn't be doing. Mm-hmm. Which is probably why you having pregnancies that you shouldn't have, which is probably why you don't want to use a condom, which is probably why people having unprotected sex and shit like that. Like that happens to men biologically having a hard time making good decisions based on their sex drive.
It's on the man. There's no way a woman can get pregnant without a man.
That happens. We know that, documented. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't we seek, like, would it be a bad idea? I'm just throwing this like spaghetti against the wall. I don't know. Would it be a bad idea to say, 15-year-olds get a vasectomy. Yeah. You reverse the process when you're an older, more responsible person. It's not like you can't have sex. It's not like you can't. No. You still not fucking. You still not nutting and enjoying sex. But you can't get nobody pregnant unless you say before the age of 30 and you're like 27. Me and my longtime girlfriend are ready to have children.
It's perfect.
And then you can get the procedure reversed.
Yeah.
Or when you turn 30, you automatically go get this procedure reversed because you're grown. Dudes in the room. I don't know if I agree with this or not. I'm just fleshing out the idea.
No,
and
I
want
see
to know
y'all's faces and you think it's crazy, right? And you're like,
how do you feel about
this is disgusting.
I'm more concerned with like the throwing spaghetti on the wall. Where the hell did that come from?
No. That's when you're throwing spaghetti against the wall, see if it sticks. Is ideas.
Okay. Gonna keep it simple. Isn't it easier to unload the gun than shoot someone in a bulletproof vest?
You're right. Yeah, there you go. I get the reference. Yeah. I get it.
I love it, and I think I agree with you. I think that.
Well, I don't know if I agree with me. I'm just throwing it out there.
What I'm saying, of course, I don't agree. I think that that's stupid because here's my brain is like we have something that we can use when accidents happen. It's called fucking abortions. It's safe for the women. It happens. Yeah, it's a hard thing for us to carry. Again, I've never had one, but I have had friends that have gone through them, and it's a very traumatic, very painful thing. It's not easy. People aren't, there's, the pro-life movement will tell you, oh, these women are going in every week. They're getting abortions because they don't want to use birth control. That's not true. They're expensive. They're hard. They're painful. There's no women out there that are using abortions as birth control. That's fucking false.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's false. It's hard, but we're willing to do it. We're fucking willing to do it. Okay. So just let us fucking do it. And then y'all don't have to have your fucking vasectomies. But at the end of the day,
would you get a vasectomy?
Does that make you uncomfortable?
Huh?
What is a vasectomy?
Oh
where they basically
quick
I
apologize.
Snip. It's cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
They snip. I don't know what it is exactly, but they cut something in you where your sperm no longer can.
So it's like 100%.
They go into your balls, each one, and then they tie the little tube where the semen comes into the testicle. They tie it off so that none of your sperm, which is carrying what a human
sperm
needs.
And the semen combine in the balls. They stop that from happening. So the semen still gets released, but no swimmies are in there.
But it requires somebody to cut into your balls with a scalpel.
And it's reversible, right?
It's reversible.
Then yeah, I'm cool with that.
See, that's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, because you can still do whatever you want to do.
So then do it right now.
But what's the percentage of wait? What's the percentage of issues occurring though? Like,
I mean, they're
trying
low.
to reverse it. What if they go back and we can't reverse it?
No.
You
then
can
adopt.
It's very
honestly
safe.
that mindset seems very fucking that sounds like
Does it make
communism.
you uncomfortable? Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
it is.
You know, it sounds
I'd
like
rather
It's more fascism.
well, you know,
than
not you know what I mean. It just sounds very like
it's controlling your life,
controlling,
isn't
yeah.
it?
But
Yeah.
I'd rather do that than have a girl have a baby that we don't want.
And it's kind of like your body, so you don't want the government telling you what to do with your body.
You know what I
right?
think? I think people
I
should
don't
just
want
let people do what the
yeah.
fuck they want to do.
Exactly. It's
But
that
if we had to
simple.
choose
But,
between
like-
the two, then I would choose the
Good for
vasectomy.
you. Good for
over
you.
over you know
Yeah.
not letting them have.
I
abortion.
might. I probably would too. I mean, I would definitely am
Good for
against
you.
them doing that for the woman. I probably would do it for me because I just don't see a negative.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's
It's-
really no
yeah.
negative to
I
it.
heard I heard things before because this has come up in my marriage before about me personally getting a vasectomy. We ain't gonna get into that, but either way, what I heard was once, like you said, you take the poison out of the snake.
I think he said that.
When you take the poison out the snake, it doesn't. You don't get the same.
doesn't slither right.
Yeah, something like that. Like you can still have sex, you can still, enjoy that. You're gonna orgasm, all of that stuff like that. But mentally, within the man, he doesn't feel the same because the potency is gone. So there's something about it that's different. This is just what I
like
heard.
hormonal.
I guess I think so. Like if
So-
you're not
Is that a
producing
thing?
sperm, it's gonna change your sexual enjoyment slightly.
It's not kind of like condoms, as a lot of men will say.
Right.
But it's
which,
still better than having
as
a
a
baby.
girl, I've
I think
dealt
so.
with.
That's what I'm saying. I think
It's
so.
still
I
better
think
than
so.
having a baby that
Exactly.
you don't want.
So
Yeah.
but what I've seen is that a lot of women nowadays, now that these laws are being passed, they're going to their partners and they're saying, okay, once this law passes, if they don't use condoms, I want you to start using condoms and I want you to think about getting a vasectomy. And these men
Losing their fucking mind.
are saying, oh, I don't want to do that. What? And I'm like, well, I don't want to have to fucking get pregnant. It's
Right.
kind of a big deal. It's
Yeah,
kind of
that's gonna be scary.
But
It
like
is.
I want all these men out there to think about what it feels like to have the government invade your body and tell you what to do with your body, because that's what we're dealing with right now as women. Like, this is huge. And I know that men are like, oh, I don't want to have a kid. Well, I don't want to grow a child in my body and give birth. I don't want it.
It
Now
would
that I
be-
think about it, it's kind of scary to think about.
It's
It's
fucked up.
it's scary to have sex now.
It is. It,
is.
actually is.
No, it's
Right?
been scary
Yep.
to have sex.
Well,
if
you know
were
what I mean
single
now?
and- well, yeah,
Like,
I know what you
I'm
mean.
Think about it
terrified.
now.
It's going to change
Yeah,
my
I thought
sex
about that
drive.
too. What about if you're just single and you're going around?
But like you got,
You're gonna be like, I'm not anymore.
But like, what really makes me sad, yeah,
Scary.
like everybody should have freedom to have as much safe, consensual sex as possible. That's obviously just I think, and for Republicans, they can't handle that. But for me, I'm angry because I'm in a committed relationship, and now we have something that works for us, and now I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I'm scared to have
Right.
sex with my committed partner that I have had and will have for hopefully the rest of my life. I'm scared. And it's fucked up because
I'm sorry. No, I get it.
it's scary. And it's like, Republicans have this thought where once you get married, you're instantly going to start having sex to have babies. They can't
Right.
get it in their head that people get married and still don't fucking want to have
Exactly.
babies because we're not all super religious. And what kills me is like, we could have so much less abortions in this country if we taught sex ed the right way. Because right now in a lot of schools, it's all abstinence only. Like I
Right.
just saw something going around on Facebook, and it showed a like booklet of like the sex talk from a school, and this wasn't a religious school at all. And it said, you know, the best way possible is to practice abstinence, like as if these 16, 17, 18-year-olds are not going to be fucking.
I don't even think they should
be
bring that up
Be
anymore.
realistic. Well, I think that they should just teach it as if these kids are going to have sex. Like, don't say you guys can have sex, but don't say you guys can't have sex or you won't have sex.
That's
Teach
what-
it as if they are having sex.
That's
'cause
what
they
every
are.
parent comes to realize at some point
Yeah.
in time. I would think the school system made up of fucking parents probably
But there's these
would
parents.
figure that out too.
There's these parents who, like, some schools you have to sign a permission slip. Yeah, I'm okay with my child learning about how their own fucking body works.
Right.
Or no, I'm not okay with my child learning about, again, how their own fucking body works.
Well, I can
Well, it is a
understand that
religious
to a
thing though
point- to
too.
a certain
Depending on
point.
your religion, they have like health class and all that stuff that they
yeah,
can't. Like,
well,
I
it's
can
weird.
understand them
Which
making
is
them sign the thing
weird
to a
in
certain point,
itself.
only because if you're a parent and you plan on teaching them a certain way and you don't want somebody else to influence or for you to get an opportunity to do it first. But if they're already at the point where you got to sign a permission slip, you probably already should have did it.
Yeah. I mean, and
basically.
it's like some parents are teaching their kids that I know you're never going to have sex until you get married, but here's what no, you have to be realistic. You have to know that I'm sorry. Like when I was,
how many people have you met that actually feel that way?
what do you mean?
No sex till marriage.
I've never met
Zero?
anyone. Yeah, unless they were
Zero.
literally like
But I mean,
Fucking
in a
zero.
cult.
so out of the 10 million people that live here, how many people feel that way?
Zero.
Very little.
Fucking zero. I
Very
don't think anybody really believe it. Even if they're
At
saying
first
it,
I
they
did.
don't believe it.
Exactly.
And I was like, fuck.
You used to think
No.
You used to
work
think
out.
that?
Yeah.
No, when I was like 13, I thought, oh yeah, sure,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
you
do
know,
it.
yeah.
And
When
then
I
I
was
turned
younger,
15,
I was
Bro.
like,
and it was all over.
No, it just changes. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, even back then, it would change rather quickly.
Yeah.
At, like I said, 15, 16. Nowadays, it's 11, 12.
It's scary.
Yeah,
That's
it
gross.
is crazy.
The internet age,
Yeah, and you know what? We
Dog.
don't like it, but we can't change
it's
it.
it's where we live. It's
Yeah.
what's going on right now. The internet, these kids are seeing and talking about things that we weren't talking about at
horrifying.
11. We
Yeah.
might have waited till 13.
They
Now
have
talking
all the
about it at
access
11.
to porn and all that stuff.
Everything. The world is in their
It's
damn
just
hands.
reality. We don't like it, but we have to be realistic. And the fact that Republicans think, oh, this is going to inspire people to practice abstinence.
No.
They will never. And like their whole quota is like, if you can't handle the responsibility, then don't have sex. It's like, we are human beings. We are going to have sex no matter what. I'm sorry. It's going to happen. You can't stop people from having sex. So you're just going to have a bunch of unwanted babies. That's
The
it.
saddest thing to me is that this is a private agenda being pushed and going to affect everybody.
Everybody.
It's like this is happening on grand scale right in front of your face. Some small group of people want a certain thing for whatever fucking reason
And
they
it's
want
not
it,
the same reason
and it's
as the
happening.
people
That's
think.
talking about it.
Yeah.
It's not even the same reason as the politicians that's
Yeah,
pushing it.
They've brainwashed
It's
people.
a different reason, but whatever it is, it's playing out in front of us, and we're arguing about it, as opposed to arguing for the rights of people to do what
Yeah.
what they want to do. Not even people, women, fucking women. None of y'all would be here
Which are
without
people.
women.
Yeah.
Mother's Day is this weekend. God damn it.
Yeah. It's sad.
So,
it's really
Shit is
sad.
crazy.
if this law was to get passed,
Yeah.
so
It's-
there would be a lot of.
It's already passed. It's going to
babies-
start January
oh,
1st.
yeah. There would be a lot of babies up for adoption.
Yeah,
basically.
and Georgia already has the worst foster care
So
system.
then, what would happen
in
then?
The
Oh,
country.
they're going to come in with some provisions, and they're going to change the foster system to make it so that you can't, or put some restrictions on it. They're
Yeah.
gonna attack that problem the same way they would attack any other problem that they created
Yeah.
and then tried to quote unquote fix, but not really fix.
Yeah.
So to get birth control, what are like the complications with that? Like, so people
hard.
say you're low income,
Yeah, it's
and
very
this
hard.
happens to you. How do you?
What are your options?
Obviously, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
if
never
you're
had to
poor,
get it.
I mean, I don't have health insurance right now, so I have to jump through hoops every like 6 months to get birth control for myself. I have to jump through many hoops. I have to go get appointments at these places that take months to get in. You should be able to buy birth control over the counter, but you can't.
Just
You
like
have to go.
condoms.
No. I'm saying now,
You can buy
like,
condoms.
Same.
Just like that.
Yeah, because men matter and women don't. And then like with the, what do you mean? Like,
No, I was just saying.
Is it-
Now that there's this bill in place, they shouldn't make it so impossible to get these
No, they
things.
should
And then
make-
they have like Plan B. It's like I saw people saying like, "Oh, well, if it happens, just go get Plan B." I'm like, okay, I used to work at a drugstore. It's $50
That's
for one
$50.
pill.
No, they're 60, dude.
yeah, it's like $50
Like,
to
oh,
$60,
sorry,
and
I
it's
mean-
over. It's
$10
behind the
is a big
counter.
difference.
Dumpling.
So it's behind the counter. So
Yeah.
like, you know, a 12-year-old or not. I mean, like a
Anybody.
14-year-old girl that needs to get it, she's going to be fucking embarrassed.
Or how about me, a 26-year-old who needs to get it and goes and asks for it and is treated like absolute dog shit by the pharmacist, who she's like, cause I had like a GoodRx coupon and I just pulled it up and I was like, oh, it says I could save money and get it for like $40 instead of fucking 60. And I showed it to her and she's like, oh, you have to have a prescription from your doctor. So if you want to call your doctor, and I was like, well, I don't really have a doctor, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, no, you're going to need to pay full price. And she's like, whatever. Like, and she was just so mean to me. And
Yeah.
the way that she looked at me, she didn't even have to say it. She just was judging me.
Right.
And I felt awful. I got into my car, I cried. And it shouldn't be that way. You should be able to walk into a store and get it if you need it.
Right.
And so I can understand why people don't get it. I can understand why it's hard. Birth control is very expensive too. It's very, very expensive. It shouldn't be. It's not expensive to make. And so it's hard for people to get birth control. And if we make it more readily available for people, a lot of insurance does not cover birth control either. Because there's all these religious connotations of it, where religious people don't want you using birth control. By the way,
I know they don't. They don't want any
Why do
form
you
of
think?
contraception.
do you
at all.
think
Mormons have
they're
10
gonna-
kids.
Yeah.
So do you think they're going to change that?
No,
they're trying.
Yeah.
No, they're
Oh, you
trying.
mean change it, make it more readily available?
Yeah,
No.
they're
No,
gonna-
they're going to say that's
They
between you
want
and
it-
your doctor.
They want it
It's
to
not
be
between.
harder to get.
It's not between you and your doctor to fucking be able to abort a baby, but it's definitely between you and your doctor to get contraception.
what they want, what the religious people want, not the Republican politicians, because what they want is not any of this. They don't care. They're not religious.
No.
They don't care. They're evil. Well, I mean, that's my... Anyway, the people, like the super religious people, they want it so that everyone is getting married, man and woman, of course, because that's... And then they want them to get married and then immediately just start having babies and have 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 fucking kids, 18 kids and counting. That's what they want, because that's their idea of what God wants for them.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is,
they
you look
have no
around the
idea.
world, that's not what we're doing anymore
It's
at all. There are millions of different kinds of families.
right.
And all these gay people that want to adopt kids and then they won't let them. It's like, these are loving
ridiculous,
homes.
man.
These are loving
Wasn't
homes
that
for all these unwanted
wasn't
kids.
that another
Wait,
Georgia
that's
law
a-
that they
that's
were
a-
trying to
that's
go
a
to?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia's
If
trying to
you're
pass that
Republican-
law.
If you're a gay,
too.
if you're a gay couple trying to adopt a child, they're gonna
can't?
they're gonna
Very hard.
'Cause
they're
fuck
gonna
that.
throw you
Let
through
the
1,000
kids
fucking
suffer.
hoops. Even if
because
this
they
is
don't want it. Okay.
because they think it's gonna psychologically
There's-
damage
yeah,
the
yeah,
child.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's
I don't know. Say what
so
you will,
sad.
think what you want, but if you care about this child like you say you do,
Yeah.
you
It's a
wanna-
loving home.
You know,
Put them
it's
into a
funny,
home.
The funny thing is, they're not even the ones adopting it. You know,
Right.
Like
You-
you're going
you
to say
don't
they
even have to
can't
deal
do
with
it,
the kid.
yet you don't
Yeah.
want to adopt anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's fucking
They want
crazy.
these kids to fucking rot and
It
not
makes you
be
think-
wanted. It's so
like,
sad.
They make you think running a country is really hard, which I'm pretty sure it is. It's pretty goddamn hard.
Well, they're just like so unrealistic.
But at the same time, there's some very small, realistic things that you can look at and adjust for what's happening in the
Yeah.
country and make fucking sense, as
Yeah.
opposed to trying to stick to
Yeah,
these
like-
outdated,
Exactly.
old religious beliefs that you're trying to push an agenda about. It
Not
just makes
everybody's
no
religious.
fucking sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. It
That's
just-
that's the way I feel, because like if you're Republican or you're Democrat or whatever, I hate when they bring things that are so dependent on a person's opinion.
Yeah.
Like, you can be how you want to be with taxes and things like that, but then you bring in like, okay, a woman can't do this with her body. It's like, what does that have to do with anything that you're...
Yeah, that's not
You
doing
know,
anything.
it's
Oh, you talking
not.
about the way they write the bills?
No, yeah, just like all of a sudden they're like, all right, we're going to have an abortion thing, or gay people can't do this and this. I'm like, why?
Why does
Right.
that add?
Why does that...
That's
What
so
value does that
irrelevant.
add?
Right.
Right. It's like, what does it really add to our country? And they're like, oh, well, we just don't want them to have rights because of
keeps
religion.
us-
And it's like, well, what about separation of church and state? That's nothing. That's not a thing anymore.
Ex-
It's not a thing.
Please,
And
I'm glad
least not-
somebody
at least
said
not
it.
in the
It's
South.
I'm
just
glad
not.
somebody said it, because they act like it never happened.
this
We
is
never
a
talked about
Christian-
it. You want to follow the Constitution. You want to follow all of these things to the T. But then when it comes to separation of religion, of church and fucking state, nobody cares.
yeah. Or they
Nobody cares.
want it to be a Christian country, and it's fucking not. It's just not. And it wasn't built on that. It was
You-
literally people trying to escape.
so that they can practice whatever religion they
it's
wanted,
fucked up.
free from persecution.
It's insane.
But no, these people, I swear, these people, and no knock to white people or men, but they
take it.
seem to be old fucking white men.
No, they
Well,
are.
that's where
Don't
the-
even fucking
that's-
apologize,
No, yeah, it's true.
Ahmad.
That's where the hope comes in, because I'm like, okay, in 20, 30 years, there's going to be a different mindset of people that are
Hopefully.
going
They're
to...
all gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
I
I hate
hope
to
so.
say that, but it's true.
The cycle of
You know,
life.
because like the mentality that this younger generation has, more open-minded,
more educated,
yeah.
less religious.
Whether people want to hear it or not, millennials are factually the most educated generation. People don't want to
Care
hear
about
that, but it's
science.
true.
It's true.
Right.
And so that's
gives
where
me
that's where
hope.
the hope comes in. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm like, let's see how it turns out.
I try to tell myself this is the last dying breath of these fucking baby boomers. And not every baby boomer is like this. I have friends that are baby boomers that are amazing scientists. They are totally cool. But most of them just fucking suck.
Yeah.
They don't care. And like the craziest thing to me is like Donald Trump has had abortions. I mean, not him himself, obviously, because he's a man, but his mistresses and wives. There's documented cases of his mistresses and wives and stuff having abortions. There's one politician in particular, this was recent, he was Republican, he was super, super pro-life. And then they found out these texts got leaked that he had a mistress, he was cheating on his wife, because that's in the Bible. You're allowed to cheat on your wife, right? He was cheating on his wife. He got her, they had a pregnancy scare, and he immediately texted her that he wanted her to get an abortion, even though he was one of the most pro-life Republican Congress people or whatever. And so it just shows like there's evidence
The hypocrisy.
out there.
So where is he now,
They
though? Like,
don't
what were
give
the
a
repercussions
fuck.
from that?
No, I think it was like an article or two, but for the most
Was it
part,
like a big thing? 'Cause that sounds
Yeah.
I
pretty...
think he stepped down or something like that.
yeah, something like that. But at the end of the day, it's like they do not care. They do not
No,
care.
they don't.
at
And
all.
but you know who should care? Every voter should care. Start really caring, because where did this start? This started. I mean, it really started back when Trump got in office, but recently it started when Brian Kemp won the governorship.
But like,
okay?
did he? That's the thing that scares me the most is that I don't think he won fair and square.
No,
I
that's
don't
a whole
think
nother
we
thing.
voted for him.
We didn't, but if we came out, if
It
people
was
came out in a
close.
bigger force,
They
it would be
did.
undeniable.
Yeah,
But we need
I
to be
don't
even
know.
bigger though.
It was
Because if
a-
you go back to the numbers, there's still a large percentage of people that
Yeah.
didn't even vote in
Yeah.
Georgia in
Or they
this
voted
in an
30%.
election.
You know what
Third
pisses me off? The ones that are they do the they
Third
vote
party?
third party, and it was like 50,000
Yeah.
votes, and she
Yeah.
she lost by
like
like
as if
60,000.
you think
Right.
that's really. I mean, I get it. I get why people vote third party. I really do. I don't think I'm not like all one side. I get the third party thing, but the fact of the matter is, right now we can't afford the third party
you have
bullshit.
to know what fight you're fighting.
We
Right now,
can't-
we're not fighting to
Yeah.
figure out which good way should we move
Yeah,
the
it's
country
like even
into.
me, like-
it's go bad or go
Right.
good.
It's like I'm not crazy about Joe Biden. I don't really like him, but if he ends up being the candidate, we have to fucking vote for him.
Bro.
Is it better to have Joe Biden or Trump? I don't like Joe Biden, but I'll vote
Well,
for him if he's
that's
the
it.
candidate.
Joe Biden's just going to sniff your hair. Trump might actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Grab your pussy.
exactly.
Yeah. There you go.
Right.
So yeah,
So
please
it's scary.
Vote, man. Vote if y'all don't think it
It's
matters.
scary.
Everybody. I don't know if this is going to reach the ears of the people that's riding downtown on rims or
Yeah.
the people that's out doing paintball and don't give a fuck about
Mm-hmm.
anything. But guess what? If you get that girl pregnant, she may go to jail. Abortion is not an option anymore. Now, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it is life-changing
Or
situations.
you're going to have a kid. Like, you're just going to have a kid. Either he's going to be
You're
put up for
gonna-
adoption. You got to think about it the rest of your life.
This is no
We're paying
longer.
child
This is
support.
real. Affect everybody. And I promise you. Okay, I had an abortion. I had an abortion a long time ago.
Thank you for talking
Another
about
life,
it. It's
right?
really important.
Another life, and not another life. It was.
It happened, and it changed your life.
It changed. It changed.
For
It
the-
literally changed my life. Like, I would not
Yeah.
be here. I would
Yeah.
not know any of you guys. I would
Yeah.
not make the money I make. I don't know where I would be.
Exactly.
But it wouldn't be good. Mm-hmm. I only did it because it would not have been good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it.
You made the right decision, and so did she.
Oh
And it's
my
good that you're
God.
talking about it too, because so many people think that they can't talk about it, and they stigmatize it to think, oh, only certain people get abortions. But people that you know everywhere, 1 out of 3 women, it's statistic, will get an abortion before the time they're 40 years old. So you talk to people every single day that have gotten abortions or know people who've gotten abortions, and people feel like that's not the case. So it's going to
Right.
affect so many
It's
people.
going to affect more people than y'all realize. I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
you, it's not a game, and it's gonna. You dudes who don't think it really affects them, you are full of shit.
Absolutely.
You have no idea. I'm telling
Absolutely.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
It changes your life, especially if it's a bad situation. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
vote, wake up, people, go out and vote when the time comes.
It's scary because, like, when you think about like what happened with Brian Kemp and everything, is like so many people. There was machines that were broken. There was people who couldn't get out, who didn't have rides.
Yeah,
so like,
but which machines? It wasn't in Cobb County.
yeah, no, it was the most
It was in, like,
vulnerable.
South
It was
Fulton County,
black communities.
DeKalb County.
It was poor communities
Yeah.
of people who were going to be voting for Stacey, definitely. And it was all like some were sent without power
cables. What the
cords.
fuck
That's
is
what I'm
that?
saying. That's when it started.
It's
This is when
calculated.
it started. When he
And
got voted
Brian
in.
Kemp was the Secretary of State at the time. He was
Yeah.
counting the votes.
Could
Which
you
is
let the person to
total
count the votes run?
bullshit.
Yeah.
Isn't that a
Man, I don't even want to rehash that whole thing, but when that was happening, I was like, hold
Yeah.
on. Conflict of interest, you shouldn't have been in charge of it.
Very
You should have either
scary.
had to step down to run or somebody else should have been in charge of it. You can't do both.
Yep.
You just fucking can't do both. I can't be a part of the beauty pageant
People
and
can beat
also
the
be
system.
a judge.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck are you
Exactly.
talking about?
That's exactly
like, these
it.
are simple rules and
sense.
the way things work.
Right.
You know,
And
the,
they act like
the crazy
they
thing
didn't know
is,
what to
like,
do.
if it was any other lower job, like, our job or something, like,
Yeah, they're like, oh,
that-
no, don't do
Never.
that.
But someone that's running for a high office position, it's like,
They get to do all
If
I'm
that
like,
it had been
shit.
a
where did
Democrat-
you come from in that,
If it had been a Democrat that did that too, the Republicans
Oh, it would have been over. It would have been over.
Raised
They would
hell.
have forced them to do this,
Yeah.
step down, or appoint someone else to oversee in his leisure while he's running for the office. Like it would have did
It's
something.
scary.
But it would have. It gets to that point where it's beyond like political. It's just like that was just a shitty thing for a person to do. It's
Yeah.
like whether you're
Yeah.
Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever. It's just like that's fucked up.
Yeah, and everybody should have seen it, but I don't want people to feel like we don't have, like, our votes don't count, even though I'm feeling that way. I really am. When I was watching that, I was like, fuck, we have no fucking choice. But we have to still get out there no matter what, because if they do count, then we have to be voting. So
Yeah.
I feel like everybody who has a car, who has the privilege to be able to drive and have that kind of stuff. There's so many people. There's elderly people. There's poor people that can't get to these voting polls. I feel like everybody should make a promise, put on Facebook, talk to people, and say if there's anybody who needs a ride to those polls.
Uber and Lyft should do like a
Yeah.
thing.
I know,
That'd be
like,
good.
you know, I hope that everybody will try to take the day off and just be that person who, since you're privileged in any way, you can help non-privileged people get to the polls.
In I don't know what European country. It could have been countries or just one, but it's a holiday.
Yeah, it should be. It
where
definitely should
they
be.
don't have to worry about working.
If we
or not
want to
working.
talk about how they're doing the country wrong, like they're doing a lot of wrong things.
Yeah.
Like voting everyone. If you cared, first of all, there shouldn't be what do you call those things again? Delegates. We shouldn't have delegates.
No.
There shouldn't be any delegates. The popular vote should be what the vote is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The electoral college.
The electoral
Absolutely
college
not.
should
It's
be
bullshit.
done away with. Like, I understand why they did it.
But
I
then
understand
Trump,
why
but
they
then Trump
started
got
it.
elected, and that's weird. Like
Like,
the electoral
I
college
want to have
didn't
a
help
whole
with that.
conversation about the electoral
Yeah.
college because that's a.
It
because
needs reform,
When they
at
it
least.
needs at least reform.
Yeah.
At least reform. At the very least, I think it should be done away with. But at least some sort of reform because it's not working at this point. On top of the gerrymandering of districts and all that shit,
Yeah.
like it's just not working. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't want to get too political. Although this whole thing is
Oh my
fucking
God,
political.
yeah.
Say that,
Whatever.
So
I mean,
things
it's
been
life or
political.
death at this point for some people. It really
Yeah.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So not be careful. It's happening,
Yeah.
and you need to make your voices heard one way or another. I guess this is the way we're doing
Yeah,
it.
I saw like another thing about how Bernie Sanders is trying to get it so that people who are incarcerated can vote, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's bullshit," because then terrorists can vote and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but think about all the people who are in jail right now because of weed charges. All of the people of color who are in jail for no fucking reason.
Right.
They don't get to vote. They don't get to vote when the fucking laws affect them the most.
Right.
They're incarcerated. Like they should. I
Like,
think that
if
they should be able
if
to
you're
vote.
a citizen,
Yeah, you're a
you
citizen.
break a law doesn't no longer make you a citizen.
Why does it take your privilege to vote
Exactly.
away?
You know what I mean? Like that's not.
I don't know.
the
I
same thing.
really think that they should be voting because it ends up being people who are in jail are going to be more likely to vote for Democrats.
Or should
They're
it
going to be
be
more people of color? It's going to be.
should it be dependent on what your charges are? Like,
I get-
you know,
maybe.
if
I
you're-
mean,
if you
even
did like
at least-
if you did a triple murder, you're like, oh, I got to go vote liberal. Like,
But what is their
but if
vote?
if
I
you're
don't
in
know.
prison
or like if you're in life for
jail
president or
because you
something.
drove drunk one time because you were stupid, you know,
I don't know. I just think breaking
happens.
the law doesn't make you no longer a
No,
citizen. It
yeah.
doesn't make you no longer a person. Like you don't become something else.
And it's just
you're
like,
still a
it's
person
voter-
who did a bad thing.
It's voter suppression. There's less rich white
You're a
men
person.
in jail.
Like,
It's-
fuck, I
that's
didn't
just
stop becoming a person.
You know, yeah. And it makes it so that we lose out on a lot of votes for one side for vulnerable people.
All right, we got more bad news. More bad news. I didn't. Well, I knew this was going to be like this, but there's more bad news. We could keep talking about abortion, but I also want to cover the Colorado shooting. Columbine 2. I don't know if they're calling it that. I don't know what they're calling
They're
it.
making a lot of
This is like
connections, similarities between the two.
Yeah. So, shit, if we're already here in this low point in
well,
America.
we're already talking about
let's keep
kids
it
in
going.
America and saving babies. Why don't we
Right,
save the babies
right.
that are here right now?
What happened? Let's tell people what happened in Colorado if they haven't heard.
So, where is it? This was on May 7th.
Last week.
Ooh. Is that last week?
No,
Jesus.
this week, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Today's the 2nd.
It was,
3 days ago.
it was a week ago, I think. Or
It was 3 days ago.
oh yeah, it was just
Yeah.
Yep.
So two kids entered it's a junior high, a STEM school in Denver, and started shooting up. They went to two separate parts of the school, divide and conquer. One kid is dead, and
8 got injured, I think.
yeah, 8 injured. 3 have been released from the hospital at this point.
It could have been way worse,
It could have been way worse.
as
Yeah.
always, because
The thing is, though, like just it happening is way worse.
just the one kid dying, I'm fucking pissed. And this boy was, he was 18. He was going to graduate. His name was Kendrick, and he was going to be graduating in 3 days. He had an internship lined up. He was on the robotics team. He loved computers and technology. He was a great kid. He actually ran at the shooters, and he saved his classmate's life, which is the second time this has happened in this month. There was a boy in South Carolina, I think, or one of the Carolinas, where there was a university shooting, and one of the boys who was killed, his name was Riley, and he also was a hero. And everybody's like, oh, he was a hero, he died a hero. Our kids should not be heroes. Why are the heroes the children? I mean, we can't even count our own police force to not shoot innocent people. And like our politicians are getting all this money from the NRA, and we're literally putting the task of being the heroes on our little kids. It's just disgusting.
We're putting the task on the kids to be the heroes while we're putting people like Betsy DeVos in charge of education who doesn't give a shit about kids at all.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that I think I don't know. I don't know the true reasoning for any of these shootings or why kids are shooting kids. I don't know. I don't know.
It seems like the main thing they say is he was bullied, which bullying is not good.
No, they're saying he was the bully.
He was the bully? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He
like
was
he
the
would go
bully.
around and bully small, younger kids. Like
He was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's mentally
Like,
ill.
so-
And
So-
there's most of the time bullies have something going on outside of the house.
Definitely.
I mean, outside of the
Yeah.
school, at home, that makes them bullies. Most bullies are having issues with their parents or some sort of confidence issue based on their intelligence or just a lot of different issues outside of the school that's causing them to behave this way inside of school.
They don't have a mental health, like a healthy mental state in one way or another.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
like nobody is trying to help the children
Right. We're
who
not
need
coming
the
up
help.
with any solutions. That's
You know what the
thing.
solution was? Alternative school for the bad kids.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Alternative school. We got an alternative school expert here.
Hi, guys.
But we were talking about it, and I was like, he was telling me about the alternative school he went to. I'm not saying the type of school that he went to is going to save everybody, any future shootings or anything like that. But it's interesting to see how different the schools were.
Oh, yeah.
And the relationship you had with the staff, the way that school kind of nurtured the people that they deemed to have problems. But in all actuality, it was great for you.
Oh no, it was
You know what I
probably
mean?
the best decision I ever made.
So
Honestly,
I want to compare what was going on in alternative school to what the fuck we're still doing wrong in regular school where people are still getting shot. Because how many alternative schools got shot up? Never heard of one.
Well, so funny enough, we joked about it
Yeah.
when we were in school, and we're like, these motherfuckers would be dumb to try and shoot up this school because they'd probably get
Just a
shot
bunch
back
of-
at.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I've never heard of an alternative school. I've heard of plenty of alternative schools where all the bad kids are at and don't go by that school and all that shit. When I was growing up in Jersey, like, I know alternative schools. Nobody gets shot there.
Yeah.
There's no shootings. There's no school shootings. There's no mass. As far as I know, I could be wrong. I haven't read every fucking article in the world, but as far as I know, that's not a thing.
Well-
Most school shootings happen at regular public schools.
Technically, the Colorado was like
It
an
was,
alternative
yeah, like a
school.
Was it a
STEM
private school?
Yeah,
It was a STEM private
STEM
school.
Yeah.
STEM school. STEM is not alternative. Like,
No,
like
not in the
send the
true-
bad kids there.
No, it's
school.
not the
That's what I
bad
mean.
kid school, but
Yeah.
technically
But
alternative school.
What was your alternative school like?
So Valley High,
Valley High.
great school.
I don't know why that reminds me of Bayside High. I know it's not the same, but
Nah. So I actually got to interview the guy who came up with the sort of teaching principal. His name was Victor. He was a badass. So he was a vice principal at the other school I actually dropped out of, Hillcrest, and he noticed all the kids in the parking lot smoking cigarettes. And he's like, well, how do we engage these kids? Went out, talked to them, realized, like you said, most of these kids had other circumstances. So he's like, let's figure out how to educate these kids. So came up with Valley as an after-school program to help these kids graduate, and then it morphed from that. So
morphed into a full school.
full school, and
Gotcha.
they were in. It's actually a school I graduated from. It was like from 1950 or 30. Like it'd been condemned 3 times,
building.
but they still put us in there.
Right.
So school was broken up into 3 blocks: morning, afternoon, and night. Got rid of all the extracurriculars. It was just your core classes. You're on a first name basis with your teacher. 3 tardies is an absent. 3 absences, you're kicked out of school.
Okay.
So it's like it was stricter than most any other
Wow,
schools,
yeah.
but
You gotta show up and participate.
yeah, they treated you like an adult.
But you have your options of how to go about doing that when choosing blocks or how your blocks are set up.
Yeah, you picked. I picked afternoon because I like to sleep in, and then would go to school and then work maybe, just depending. But like
Right.
that flexibility was huge for me at the time.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. It was just a good school.
It just sounds like they took away the extracurricular shit.
Yeah, so like no dances, no gym.
Right.
I mean, the only extracurriculars were yearbook
Mm.
and the newspaper, which that was
Okay.
my bread and butter.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like in regular schools, are we forcing kids to do too much or irrelevant shit?
I think they're
yeah.
bored. I was bored as fuck in high
And
school.
it just doesn't pay attention to who a child
you know, when
is
you
as
know,
an
you know that
individual.
stupid thing like you may use it one day. No,
No, I'm not.
Not really.
No.
I'm not.
Do I need 4 years of this language? Or I mean,
Honestly.
I understand it's.
Now that I'm married to a Puerto Rican, I wish I did pay attention.
Oh,
to
I
Spanish.
totally would love to know Spanish, but that's
Yeah.
just me
But other than
personally,
that,
and that's you personally. Yeah.
I didn't want French.
Right.
They tried
I feel
to teach
like
me French.
I
didn't
feel like
need
there
to know
needs to be more engagement in future responsibilities,
Well, I
like
think
you know,
it's-
taxes and home ownership
Well, yeah.
and financial things.
On that note,
instead
so-
of having the crisis of America where everybody's in debt. where the
Right.
you know.
So my health class at Valley, Dwayne, rest in you fucking badass. He's dead, obviously.
Died.
Yeah, teacher.
Yeah.
He's the guy who taught it. So health class, we didn't have gym, so we had health. It was broken up into 4 subjects. Taught you about drugs, taught you about sex, taught you about healthy relationships and families.
That's awesome.
Then 4th quarter, he taught you how to do your taxes.
That's
Wow,
dope.
that's great.
That is
And
dope.
that's so awesome. And I think what I'm hearing here, because I've known a lot of people who have gone to schools exactly like that, had exact similar the choices that led them to those schools where they were not doing well in particular. And it seems like these schools value and see all of their students as individuals, and they want
Right.
to know
Very much
what
so,
you want to
yeah.
get out of your education. They want to know how your mental health is, and they care about your fucking mental health, which is like something that we don't see in public schools at
I mean,
all.
that's basically why I got in. My brother had just passed away. Like, I had dropped out. I was not
Yeah.
going back to school. I was working. I wasn't credit deficient. Like, I did well in school.
Yeah.
But when I went and interviewed with the counselor, he's like, more or less was like, bro, you've been through enough shit. Come on down.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
it was great.
It's fucking crazy. I would like to know, like, this kid who shot up to school, what else was going on in his life, and if he was able to have different options as far as how he was going to approach school, would it have changed anything? You know what I'm saying? If people actually cared and paid
Right.
attention,
And you
as
see-
opposed to, because people brush off the bully situation.
Yeah.
Like-
and they think, oh, man up, like, or like,
Yeah.
you know, they're snowflakes and stuff like that. It's like, clearly not. They're kids that are killing themselves over bullying,
Right.
you know, and it's just not, I don't know, there's something that's just wrong. And it has, I think, a lot to do with the school systems and just how they standardize everything, and they make it seem like you're just another student, and you do not matter.
Well, the model for traditional schooling is based off of like basically a model we made in like the 40s and 50s when America was a
Right.
much different place. And it doesn't work anymore. Like, it's a
Doesn't.
completely different world
It's
now.
just like the job industry and how they're changing from cubicles to, you know, open spaces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If the workforce sees this change coming, why are we not trying to do the
'cause
same
there's
thing with our
so
children?
much research, and it's the only reason those changes started happening is because you have so much research of like, oh, people who sit at a desk more often are more likely to fucking kill themselves, or more likely to be overweight, or more like all of these problems. And we see these same things in our kids, is like kids who go to public schools are more likely to have depression and more likely to do this and that and everything else, be on drugs, start smoking. And so why aren't we changing anything? Why these kids aren't going to college anymore? And at the end of the day, it's just, this is an epidemic with the school
Yeah.
shootings. It happens literally last week. We had multiple school shootings happen in a week. Didn't we? Didn't we have?
Yeah, because I didn't hear about the Carolina one, so I looked that
Yeah.
up. That was on May 1st.
Yeah.
But like, are we desensitized to it now? I mean,
we
there's a
are.
school shooting.
I mean,
like,
We
It
are.
is.
People aren't even seeing that it happened. And I see
Right.
that a lot where people are like, oh, another one? Or, oh, is that the same one? Or was that one different?
Right.
Because it happens so often. And this is not happening in any other country in the world.
I actually want to talk about that. I'm looking at this little picture, and it says school shootings in the United States since 2009 versus Canada, France, Germany, Japan, Italy, UK. So we have had 288 school shootings in the past, well, let's say, what was that, like 10 years. Canada has had 2, France has had 2, Germany has had 1, and then Italy, Japan, and UK have had none.
How many have we had?
288.
300.
'cause all those countries are pansies.
crazy.
Yeah.
Sad to hear.
So, yeah,
because
10
remember
years
I was telling you about the kid,
What the kid?
the one of the kids that lunged to save his other students.
Yeah.
He did an interview, and they're asking him, like, were you prepared or mentally, like, how did you?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, it just happens a lot. School
Yeah.
shootings.
So,
Well, they
That's
do all
scary
these.
to hear.
They,
Yeah.
but what is the main difference? Because I know with Japan's a good country to compare to because they're a very dense country. You know, they have a lot,
a lot of people.
Like Tokyo has 30 million people in its metro.
It's the gun
That's the
laws.
largest metro in the world. So,
Gun laws. Of course it is. I mean,
That's the-
I will tell
But-
you. Keep going.
no, go ahead.
No, but I mean, what else is it? What else is it?
Well,
What
I
are we
did-
doing different?
I mean, I meant like what's the mental difference? You know, because
I-
they do live a very like, from what I can tell, the Japanese culture is very organized. You
Well,
know,
they're also very depressed.
no, well, what's because of the workforce. Like if you don't have a hard work ethic, usually people commit suicide. But that's a different story. I'm just talking about like
I think it's the stigma on mental health in this country. I think it's a lack of health care. but this is coming from somebody who supports responsible gun ownership. I've had guns my whole life. Me and my dad went hunting. I've known how to shoot a gun since I was 3 years old. I totally support responsible gun ownership. So I don't want anybody coming at me saying like, oh, well, good people with guns. I get it. But the fact of the matter is, anybody with any kind of fucking issues can walk into a fucking Walmart here in Georgia and buy a gun, and on the same day go and guns, they just, at the end of the day, I know that there's more stabbings in other countries and stuff, but guns kill a lot of people really fast. Yeah. Really, really fast. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the fucking fact of the matter. And then we have all these assault rifles. Like, I'm sorry, why do we need the assault rifles? Like, we don't need them. Common sense gun laws. It's not taking all the guns away. If you're a responsible gun owner, then why do you have a problem going and getting a background check and going and taking classes and knowing to lock them up and
I would do
following
all those things.
Me too, because I would like to own a gun for protection, but I would do all because I'm a responsible person. So get the permit, show that you're responsible. A lot of these kids are getting the guns from their parents because their parents are not locking them up because they're not responsible gun owners. They're not responsible. And they always say, oh, the criminals will always get guns, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's always going to happen, sure, but we can make it less common if kids and people in general, people with mental illnesses have less. It's not like if it's just not easy, because these kids aren't going to go to back alleyways. These people with mental illnesses, they're not going to go to the black market to get these guns. They don't have those connections. It's going to be harder for them to get guns.
What do you know what kind of guns they used?
A lot of these are assault
They were
rifles.
handguns.
Yeah, that's
In Colorado.
Also, they said that's the first dual shooting since Columbine. Is that correct?
Yes, that's why they're comparing it.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Yeah.
I think
that's.
It's
I think
gross.
overall, the overall arcing thing is America's infatuation with guns.
Mm-hmm. It's
like,
gross. We're owned by the NRA. That's why not everybody's infatuated. It's like a couple of these southern states that are just so behind in everything else.
But overall gun violence, the army, the military, like just the entire scope of how much we put into firepower in this country is going to trickle down to our young. Period.
World War II.
Yeah, they see it on TV.
It just happens.
Yeah.
It comes and it happens.
Disgusting.
I'm not blaming video games or movies.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying it's
a culture.
There's a gun culture. Mm-hmm. That if the adults are participating in on a regular basis and it's commonplace, at some point in time, the children are going to pick up. Children learn by watching. And
they're desensitized to it. Like kids in
desensitized.
England, if they see a gun, they are horrified. They don't touch it. They don't, because it's terrifying to them because they see it as the weapon that it is. They don't know how to use it. Whereas kids in America, every single day we got little babies picking up guns and shooting their brother in the face because they have access to these guns because their parents, again, are not responsible enough to lock these guns up. But B, because these kids don't have a fear. They are desensitized to guns.
Or it's the parents that are like, you can't take my guns away, and they show their like 2-year-old daughter shooting a gun. You're like,
and it's like. And then another thing is like in
up.
other countries, the police don't even have guns. They don't even have guns, and they're able to be police.
Japan, I think there's like batons.
And the fact, like the fact,
or you know what they do? And I don't know if it's China or South Korea. If since they have knives, since they can't have guns, instead of shooting them, which again they don't have guns or whatever,
tasers.
they have. Well, no, not even that. It's kind of an interesting thing. It's almost like a net. Well, they'll have like. They surround, like the criminal or whatever, and they just put the net on them and they restrain them that way. So there's no force,
right? But they don't kill them,
but
which
they don't
is nice.
kill them. So instead of just shooting them,
that's what I was thinking too.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I didn't think.
I thought it's funny.
Cool,
it seems like a cartoon, like that they catch them in a net.
I know. I mean, it seems funny, but I mean, it's better than just shooting people at random.
Exactly.
Well, that's the
or
thing.
like they think you have a gun, but it's like no, that was just a cell phone.
People dying.
That's the thing. This has been the answer for far too long.
Yeah,
it's been the answer. Pull out your gun. You're stronger.
Yeah, shoot first, think later.
Artillery might that we have.
But
this is what America built themselves on.
They have to be either training them, like that makes me think, like, what are they training the police? Like, oh, if he even flinches, if a muscle moves, shoot him right away.
I saw there was a video on that. I think it may have been a white guy where I don't remember, but he was like crouched down, and I think it was his wallet or something, and he went
they asked. I know you're talking about the guy in the hotel. They asked him.
No, not that. He was outside in like a parking lot, and he was crouched down and. I don't remember what it was he was getting, but it was like something that wasn't even harmful.
Right.
And then they
And
killed
they
him. He's
killed
like,
him.
you asked me to get it. I don't.
They just
You're
this
talking
makes
about
me
the guy
sick.
that had the
in the hotel
like BB gun thing. He was like for like rodents or whatever. Is
No.
it that one?
No, the guy that was crying.
You know
in
what's
the
fucked
hallway.
up? Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking just of like this thing that I saw on Facebook the other day that horrifies me, that this woman invented for black people, and it's like a thing that you can hang on your rearview mirror, and it's like it says like
Has
oh,
your-
it has
Heard
all
about
your like
that.
it
I
has
heard
like
about
your
that.
your
Registration and your
registration,
Yeah.
so that you don't get
It says
shot.
yeah, and it says like I'm not reaching
It's
or something.
so
Yeah. Like,
that is
disgusting.
fucked up.
We need that in this country because
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't matter how innocent these people are, like and that and alone should tell us that we have a problem, but we have
Right.
like I can't even count how many innocent unarmed black men have been shot and women, and there's no changes, there's none. I mean, these people aren't even getting in trouble. That woman who literally walked into a completely innocent black man's apartment and killed him
No,
in
she-
his own
she- no,
apartment.
she
she did
going-
get in trouble,
yeah.
but it was like a fight. It was kind of like, oh, maybe
initially,
she shouldn't
yeah.
get in trouble. It's like fucking.
But
what?
that's the thing that's killing me. This gun situation is happening on two fronts, or all fronts. It's just happening in a lot of different
Yeah.
phases of our society, and we still don't want to move on it. We still don't want to do
It's like,
anything
yeah,
about it
at
for
first
some reason.
You think like, oh, maybe it's because it's. This sounds awful, and obviously I'm enraged, so I'm not saying this as if it's my belief. But at first you think, oh, well, they don't care and they're not doing anything because the only people are being killed are people of color. But then when our children are being killed and the children are white.
Right.
They still don't care, and so it's like, what do we do? What like?
Why is
there
there such
nobody?
a fight? Why
There's
is it,
no
why,
one.
Why are we so afraid to let go?
Like when they start killing the white old rich men, is that
Right.
when we start making
Exactly.
the laws?
Yeah, when they go to the polo club and start
Exactly.
shooting.
or when we start killing their rich affluent kids who are in the safe schools who it's just
No.
weird. It's like nobody should have to die. I'm not saying go out and kill obviously nobody.
No, I totally get
I'm
it.
just saying that like
I wish I knew. I wish
It's
I
crazy.
knew what
It's
needs to
just
happen
crazy.
for people to understand. It's just like more access to guns mean more people get shot.
End of
period.
story.
Like it's math.
Yep.
It's fucking math.
And
More
there's,
guns
like-
in rotation, more people get shot. Look at Detroit.
yeah.
All
yeah.
the guns on the street
Yeah.
is why there's so many people getting shot.
Right. It's a war
simple
zone.
math.
Yeah. And it's
Like-
just like it's like I think it's just sad that there are zero solutions coming out of this. Like we keep saying, oh my God, another shooting. Oh my God, another unarmed black man. Oh my God. Oh my God. And there's no solutions. That's why fucking Colin kneels, is because he's like, what the fuck? And people give him shit for it. And then like, what are we doing with these
Well,
kids?
they
Like,
just don't understand the reason. They're like, oh my God, he disrespects
well,
America.
They,
It's like, no,
I mean,
that's
it's
not
just
it.
That's a
weird.
cop-out.
It's
I don't-
disgusting.
That's what
simple
people
cop-out.
say.
That's a
It's
cop-out.
disgusting.
People
No.
who say they don't understand the reason he's disrespecting the flag, they're also not looking for the reason.
And well, no,
they're not
they
trying to
they
figure
know
it out.
it
So it's a
because like
cop-out.
people tell them. They say, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's because our unarmed black people are being killed every
I
day."
mean, I wouldn't want to pledge to the flag if all this
well,
bullshit's
I
happening.
mean, at the end of the day, he was
Feel me?
on
I
TV,
feel you. Yeah.
and people would ask, "Why are you doing that?" And he would be able to tell them. That was he will go down in history as a hero for sure. Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
Rosa Parks, just like Martin
Yeah.
Luther, he will absolutely. But right now, people hate him. But what I'm saying is like
No,
we
I
are
stand
doing
with
these.
Cap.
Oh, me too. He's an absolute hero to me, absolutely. But he, like the fact of the matter is like we're doing everything we can to get like people to listen. They have the March for Our Lives. I think that's what they call it, with all these kids going out talking about how they don't want the gun violence, talking about these beautiful like 9-year-olds going up there with these incredible speeches about how they shouldn't be living like this. And it's like, nobody's fucking listening, because at the end of the day, the people who make the laws are being given a lot of money from the NRA. Like
Right.
there's politicians who literally, you can look it up. They received millions of dollars, $3 million for one guy from the NRA. That's why they don't care. They don't care about your guns.
It's
they care
crazy.
about their money.
Like it's so disgusting.
It's
like,
disgusting.
If it happens to your child,
Then
you
you'll
may
care,
wake
right?
up.
Exactly.
You may wake up, but
Exactly.
until it does, you're not. And it's like I don't wish that on anybody.
No.
But because I got 3 kids.
Yeah.
I got 3 kids in
And
school, in
you-
public school, and it's
You
like
have to worry double,
bro,
Ahmad.
I can't even
It's horrifying.
answer. You answer every phone call.
It's horrifying.
You can't not answer a phone call. It's hard.
I can't even
It's
imagine.
hard.
I'm over here. I'm white. I have no kids, and I'm absolutely fucking sick to my stomach and horrified. So why is it like hard for people who do have kids who, it's like, why do you not care?
They don't think it's going to happen to them.
Exactly.
They
You
don't
never
think it's gonna
do.
happen to
You
them.
never do.
Well, if they're not black children, first of all,
Yeah.
and then second of all, you just don't think your school's going to get shot up. It's going to happen somewhere else
Yeah.
until it actually does. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want that to be my kids.
No.
I don't want that. I don't want to have to deal with, because then then I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at some point you just lose your mind.
Absolutely.
And you like, you know
want,
what? I'm going to go kill someone.
justice. It's like I just lose my mind like looking at these moms crying on TV who just their son got shot by a policeman and they're like enraged and they're upset, but they're like helpless. Like they're like, what do I do? I just want to tell you my story, but I'm angry and I'm helpless and they have nothing that they can do. All these parents whose kids die in school shootings, they're helpless. Like they try so hard. I've seen them try it and they're helpless. So it's like,
shit is sad. What was the name of the last school where all of the kids came and marched and they talked?
it was, oh my God, I don't know why I'm.
It wasn't Sandy.
No,
Hook.
it's not Sandy. It's it's
Sandy
in
Hook.
Florida.
Yeah, the
It's-
Florida school shooting is
Those
awesome.
kids-
Parkland?
Yeah, Parkland.
The Parkland kids, the speeches they
They're
gave
amazing.
had me in tears.
They're
like,
amazing.
It was probably the last time I cried in my
No,
life.
yeah. I'm like almost going to cry
That
thinking about
shit
it.
is so serious.
Oh
like,
my God.
it don't make no sense
These little
that we
kids.
went from, people getting beat up and fighting in school and kids doing kid shit to now every kid has this conversation in their school with their friends.
They have
what would you do
active
if a shooter
shooter
came?
drills
active
now.
shooter drills.
I never did that, but every kid I know, I asked them, I'm like, is this real? And
Yeah,
they're like,
they're
yeah,
really
oh yeah.
having it.
And it's horrifying. I have a friend, one of my best friends is a teacher. And they do these they do these drills, and somebody like pretends to be a shooter, and they knock on the doors, and they have a gun,
It's ridiculous.
and they
It's
push
really
people down,
scary.
and they scare them to show how serious it is. But even my friend, who's an adult woman and a teacher, she's like, it is horrifying.
Yeah.
So these drills are traumatizing kids. These drills that they're doing.
But they feel like it needs to be done so they can
does.
slightly
It
be prepared in
does.
case this happens because you never know what's going to happen.
And
You're
it's
talking about
just
288 in the last year.
It happens more than fires, and we all did the fire drills.
11 years.
So
11 years.
yeah, it does.
There's
need to
actually
be
a
drilled.
website I'm looking at, chds.us, and it has like it's a very detailed website talking about like incidents by year, incidents by state, XYZ, whatever. So what I'm just looking up is I'm looking up every state, and I'm going by like every year since like the 80s, and every year there's been at least like 10 or 11. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't
It's
find a
an
year where
epidemic.
nothing happened.
Yeah, it's an epidemic.
It's freaking crazy,
and it's
man.
only a matter of time till it happens to one of these people who doesn't think it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll think it's a problem, and then they'll realize how helpless it feels to be a parent, and this country does not care.
It's super sad, man.
So I don't know what is happening, but I think it has everything to do with just special interest groups paying politicians for what
Probably.
they want.
And you know what? What if it don't? What if it don't? What if it's something else? What if it's something in the water? What if, kids are just growing? I don't know. What if it's something else? Even if it is, this is the first step we could take. How about that?
Yeah.
You don't walk into somebody's yard and the dog's off the leash and you're like, hey, don't worry about it. And every person that comes over, the dog bites it. Okay, how about start by putting your dog on a leash?
Yeah.
It might not be the dog. The person could have provoked them. Something could have happened. Whatever. Who cares what happened?
That's what's gonna
Start by
prevent
putting
it.
the dog
Yeah.
on a leash first, and then we'll see what the real problem is. Maybe your company is
Exactly.
assholes and they deserve to be bit, but we won't figure that out until you put the
Right,
fucking dog on a leash.
Exactly. It's
I'm
perfect.
sorry, I love dogs, but I'm saying.
No, it's a good
know what I
analogy.
mean?
I totally get. It's just like, why don't we just fucking
Just
try?
try. Let's
'Cause
try
it's
this.
to
Why
the
not?
point where like it's kind of worth it to try, right? These
I think so.
it's our
My
children.
children's lives are worth it to
Absolutely.
try. But
Everybody's children's
nobody
lives.
wants to fucking listen because money talks more
Yeah.
than
yeah.
humanity, I guess. I don't know.
And
This
at the end of
shit
the day, it's like these rich white people, their kids are always going to be safe and they're always going to have access to abortions. And that's why they don't give a fuck about
crazy.
us.
I swear
they
to God,
don't care.
I do not hate white people.
I
don't
would
hate white
not
men.
blame you if you did.
I don't. But I promise you, when you look on the TV screen, the people who are telling you, no, we don't give a fuck and we're going to do this anyway. No, we're not going to stop the guns. No, we're going to tell these women what to do with their bodies. It's always white men.
Yeah. I mean, you see it in like even like the villainization of Black Lives Matter versus how Donald Trump and all these Republican people are like, oh, freedom of speech for the Nazis and all of the white supremacy. But then they're like, Black Lives Matter is literally a terrorist group. And it's like, what?
Right.
What are you talking about? So yeah, no, you have every right to be mad. I mean, I don't know why you guys aren't even more mad than you are, to be honest.
I am.
You should.
I don't know.
I'm mad for you. And I apologize for us.
Don't apologize. You didn't do anything. I blame the actual people doing it.
Yeah.
Like I don't blame
Yeah.
the race. I blame the actual people who are doing it. The Donald Trumps of the world, the Rick Santorums,
Yeah.
the fucking NRA. I wish I knew that. I don't remember none of their names
Just
right
like
now. 'cause I'm
pro-life in
What if
general.
they did like a because I think the whole, to go back to the abortion thing really quick, the whole film industry where they're not gonna
They're boycotting.
So if I was a nurse, I would boycott that as well. You know, like
What do you mean?
no, I mean all like doctors and nurses.
Oh
that
yeah,
are-
no, they are. They're like, we're still going to be doing them. Just arrest us all. But yeah, the good
I
thing
think
is,
like they literally need a group of people to stand up to these
Well, are.
there
politicians and be like, this is really bad.
There are some groups that are going to be fighting because, like you said,
Big
the law doesn't go into place until January 1st.
2020.
they're going to get lots of lawsuits.
They're going through the lawsuits. Those things are going to start firing up. And on the one hand, yes, they're going to fight back in that way. But on the other hand, I feel like this is playing right into their fucking plan so that they can take a case to the Supreme Court and rehash out
And then
Roe
Brett
v.
Kavanaugh's
Wade.
gonna be like,
and
"Ooh."
then the unbalanced Supreme Court can now get rid of Roe v. Wade. And
That's
it's like,
exactly what they're doing. Yeah, it's really scary.
Hasn't that been around since like the 70s?
Yes.
yeah. And it's been the country's law for a long time. And now Republicans just can't sit with it
Yeah,
because
it's a handmaid's tale.
because their God told them.
Oh,
Yeah.
tell her about the picture, the Handmaid's Tale picture that you saw.
Oh yeah, which was beautiful. Which this ties right into. I told y'all this shit
Yeah.
could fucking.
I told you, yeah.
This could happen. We are fucking 2 steps away
yeah.
from the fucking Handmaid's Tale,
Yeah.
and here we are already.
Exactly.
Everybody who gets an abortion goes to jail, right? So that's how it starts. That's how it fucking starts. I believe that there was a picture. There were people protesting in Georgia. I guess down at City Hall.
Oh,
I think
they're
it was
all
a picture
dressed in
Georgia.
the red.
All dressed
Yeah.
in the red.
Mhm.
The off red. That's a fucking good ass show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's amazing.
He's all
It's-
dressed like off red.
yeah.
The women. Ah man.
They say like his
It's
eye
crazy.
or like what he's watching you or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just like
His eyes always
under his
watching you or
watchful
something.
eye or something like that.
Something
But it's
Yeah, it was
fucked up,
freaky and
dude.
creepy. Like it's just
It was at the state capitol. Yeah, it was here.
yeah,
It's fucked up.
It's fucking great. I mean, because
fucked up.
Georgia, they need to stand up, and it's like
We're gonna lose a lot of our economy too from all the film industry in itself is leaving Georgia and they're
Okay.
boycotting. Which
Well,
is
the
good.
thing, I mean,
Good.
the,
Sucks
the,
for us,
the,
but it's
the
good.
ones that are saying they're not doing it, they've never done business here, and they're small companies. But
Oh no, there's
I understand if
major
there's like,
ones.
a,
Did
yeah,
you
no,
see?
I know.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna get bigger, and then you got personal actors and actresses who may stand against
Yeah.
it and fuck up a
I
whole
hope they do.
production, and have the production company thinking, okay, maybe I need to do something different
Yeah.
because of this,
Lots
and
of-
they're just gonna go other places to avoid these type of
Yeah.
issues, so they can get things done that they want to get done. It's gonna affect the
For-
economy.
Yeah,
I think
big time.
We talked earlier about it being because we've seen a lot of people against it and people for it. Do they feel like the people like us that live here, but actually none of us were actually born here? That's kind of funny. We're all from different states. But do they feel like, oh, well, all these people are coming out of different states, liberal states or whatever, and trying to change Georgia and have it not be Georgia? But I think it's different than that. It's like, well, Georgia's this way, and then all these people came here and made it this way. It's like, well, not changing it. We're just trying to say, like, hey, this is not an avenue you should be
And
talking
also, we
about.
came here
Right,
because of the
right.
jobs, because of the growth of
No,
your state.
but you know what I mean? Like Jim Bob and
No, but
random Georgia.
don't see
unfortunately,
that.
they can't
They don't
have
see
it both. Either your state's going to grow and you're going to have a better economy and you're going to have more people and more businesses, or you guys get to stay
'Cause I
in
feel,
the dark
I
ages.
feel like
Right.
These
You can't have both.
this strict law is very unfair to like Atlanta or cities like that
Progressive
that are very
cities, yeah.
Because if Atlanta,
Educated
there's the
places.
joke. If Atlanta wasn't in Georgia, it would just be Alabama.
Yeah.
It's fucking true.
Yeah.
See, that's funny. I was going to bring up Alabama because
Fucked
that's
up.
like the poorest,
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Mississippi.
Oh wait, yeah, Mississippi.
But
it's just
I get what you're
gross.
saying.
Sorry,
But-
dumpling.
I guess it's good that
Nah, he's
people,
Louisiana.
people like us are here
Oh,
to
God.
change things.
Don't ask the kid from Utah about the South.
So
All
much
right.
for the
And I'm over
alternative
here.
school. No,
I'm
kidding.
from literally Boston, Massachusetts, liberal USA, where I'm like horrified by you people. Not you people,
You
but like
people?
No,
Whoa.
just like
Whoa.
Georgia.
People.
Why are you looking at him and
Georgia,
said that?
Georgia.
He's like, fortunate you people.
No, I
No.
felt the
No, I'm
same
kidding.
way. I'm from Jersey. When
Exactly,
I
I
came down here, I
knew.
was like, yo, it's gonna
Yeah.
be big dude.
Yeah, like when I was growing up, we never heard
Suspenders,
anything
Yeah.
about
overalls and
religion
shit.
or things like that. You just hung out with your homies in your neighborhood. Now
Yeah.
it's like, but
The
It's
best.
weird.
It was good.
there's a black person down the street. I don't give a fuck. I
Fucking
don't
weird.
care, dude.
Fuck him too.
Yeah, but
Oh man. Okay. Listen. This was
The big one. My brain
Yeah, this
hurts.
was a lot, but we needed to cover this. We had to
Hell
talk
yeah.
about it. I don't think anybody here felt like we shouldn't voice our opinions for the people who are listening,
It's
the people
important.
that we could educate, the people that we could tell something about, and talk about this in hopefully a responsible way. And if not, I really don't give a shit. It's a safe space. I don't want to talk about stuff responsibly. I want to talk about it the way we fucking feel about it. And hopefully the majority of America feels the same way, and people will get out and be active and do something about this and pay attention to what's going on. I know too many people who just like, I don't care about that politics shit. When it starts affecting your life, just like when these fucking rich politicians' kids start getting shot, maybe something will change. And now we're here. We're at that point is what I wanted to bring to light. We are at the point where something has happened in government that is really, really could fuck your life up.
You can't afford to ignore it anymore.
Like we're at that point. We probably been there 20 years ago, but now for all the new people, no, we're at a crossroads right now. So pay attention. Sorry if this episode is real heavy, but we're not gonna let you go without a little bit of fun. You know, just a little bit of fun. We got a little dark corner.
I got some fun.
Got a
for
little
you,
dark
bro.
corner to brighten up the
Okay.
room. How's that oxymoron for you guys? Huh?
Can't have dark without some light. right?
Exactly.
Or-
Exactly.
Comic relief.
There you
Universe
go.
balance.
So where do you want to start? I mean, we usually start with pee-pee parts.
Yeah,
Pee-pee
I was
parts
just
is the
going to
crowd
say
favorite.
That's my favorite one.
Crowd favorite.
All right, because
Yeah.
that's the one that's been making me laugh.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I got a gift idea for Mother's Day.
Holy shit! No!
Also, destroying your youth.
Oh my god.
So the guy who played Barney the dinosaur
No.
now runs a tantric sex business.
Oh wow.
Does he?
He
Oh,
does.
man.
No way.
A full session includes a tantric massage. He's a spirit healer, is what he calls himself.
Wow.
It lasts 3 to 4 hours. Costs
Oh my
$350.
God.
Does he do it?
Does he
He
teach?
does.
He teaches?
Whoa.
He's the guy doing. Barney will give you a massage.
Does
No,
he
but
still
he-
work with children?
No, he stopped being Barney for a
That's
long
not funny.
time.
So wait, is Barney fucking you for 3 hours? Is he?
That's
he
the
wearing the
special
suit?
package. So for that price, female clients, the only kind he accepts, can receive a ritual bath, chakra balancing,
Oh my god.
and a massage. The menu also includes cosmic and mind-blowing orgasms.
Is that
Wow.
prostitution? That's
Right.
prostitution.
He's not. He's on Backpage. Where did you find this on Backpage or Craigslist?
It's just
I don't want to get him in trouble. I'm
We
just
got it on
saying.
Vice.
I think it's just a massage because there's orgasmic massages. There's not
Oh,
like,
so he's not penetrating
he's
you.
not penetrating.
Wow.
What?
with his
Hold
dick.
on.
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
no.
No, you never heard of those things?
No.
Oh, did you guys know that you could give women orgasms without penetrating them?
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
no.
kidding. I'm kidding.
That's not real.
No, it is.
He literally,
No.
it goes on to say he will massage your G-spot, so
Yeah,
he's
it's-
going to penetrate you.
Right.
Yeah, with his
Oh.
hand or his
Yeah.
whatever,
Right.
Or his pee-pee part?
or his penis.
I
Yeah,
don't think with his penis.
bro.
As long as he's wearing the Barney dinosaur costume while he's doing it.
Does he have like
That's
a
the
hole
spirit
for it?
animal.
Okay, I
Does
want
he
to
sing
know
you songs?
if there's one person in the world. Okay, because I've heard this before. I've heard people say this all the time. That sometimes the massage can, arouse you or something like that.
Wait.
Which, possibly.
A body massage? What kind of massage?
I'm talking about a body massage.
Okay.
A body
We're
massage.
not going in. Okay.
A body massage, right?
Right.
If a body massage can arouse you, I've heard that before. Name one person who's gotten a body massage, strictly body massage, no private parts, no hands on the boobs, no hands on the cooch, no hands on the dick, none of that, and had an orgasm.
Oh my god, I bet there's lots of virgin guys. No offense. I mean, like you just touch those guys sometimes, and they're just like done
That's
on the
impossible.
thigh.
I think
Like,
it's impossible. I think it's impossible.
Well, I think I saw
Oh,
like
yeah.
a documentary or a video on it where it was like rubbing her stomach and she was like over the
oh
moon.
yeah, I saw that where it's like
What?
It's a weird mental thing. It's a weird
I
mental
was
thing.
like, are you playing with her belly button?
I wish it could be that easy for everyone, but unfortunately,
I
it's
would.
not.
The mind is strong, and I get it. Maybe it could happen, but I don't know. I don't think it's happening. I don't think people are out there getting
think it
orgasms
is.
without penetration or some sort of body part being
Stimulus.
There's
Yeah, like,
there's
what the fuck?
people out there who just fucking do it. I swear, I'm not one of them,
touched. Like,
but I'm just saying.
mind fuck.
It's
Mind
weird.
fuck.
It's
Barney
weird.
out here mind fucking people. No, man.
And the whole tantric is that tantric? I always call it tandem sex because I think of the bike.
tantra.
It's
tantra.
tantric.
Tandem?
It's
There's
tantric sex. It's like very much like a weird mental. Doesn't like Sting do tantric sex or something like that?
Sting. I
He's like
thought he was
he's like
dead.
a master. Maybe it's not him.
Sting's alive.
It's
dude.
one of the, I
He's
think it
doing
is.
it right now.
I
He's
think
old
it's
as fuck.
Sting. Somebody look it up. But like it's like an art form. It's like a weird like hobby thing. It's like it's kind of like yoga where people like they. I mean, obviously
I
he's
thought it was
talking about
Indian sex.
he's talking about
Yeah.
chakras and shit.
It is an Indian thing.
I mean,
It's spiritual. It's like they.
Yeah.
I mean, like because
Well,
they
the
go for
Kama
like.
Sutra and shit. Like,
Kama Sutra. That's the
Yeah.
Indian shit. Right?
Isn't that just like different positions?
basically.
Asian? I'm
Jesus.
sorry, not Indian. It's supposed to be Asian.
That's the Indian shit.
It's basically like just like non vanilla.
India's
at this
in
point.
Asia.
That's what I thought.
It's a
Yeah,
continent.
just Asian in general. They're
But-
freaky over there.
My type of shit.
Yeah, dumpling. You
No, but
guys
thank
freaky?
you, thank you for bringing it over here because all the white people with their missionary and like.
You're welcome.
Thank you, I appreciate
You're very
it.
welcome.
They're missionary. And what's the Dave Chappelle joke where they stick their dick through the underwear only? Remember when he?
Oh, that was a trading spouses skit.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
They stick their dick. through
He
the
puts
under-
his dick through the boxer hole.
Yeah, he's
to
like,
have
that's
sex.
how white people do it. It's so
Oh my
funny.
god, that's probably true. Not, I mean.
Wow, why'd you
anyway,
look at me?
Practice
I
makes
have,
perfect.
I have a good. I'm not complaining.
No.
So
Jeez.
why are you like like? Oh,
No,
man.
okay, we're gonna
She just revealed.
next.
We want to go on from PV parts? Let's move on. Let's move on.
Next, follow up. So that giant asteroid
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's he
got
doing?
a name now. It's called the God of Chaos, and it's the size of the awful Eiffel Tower.
Isn't the
The
God
awful
of
tower
Chaos?
is
The
Yeah.
Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I was thinking.
It was 1,100 feet.
Yeah, the Eiffel
Alright.
Tower.
Actually, it's 923
Isn't
feet
Beerus the God of Chaos in
I think
Dragon
there
Ball
is.
Z?
Let me
the god
check.
of
Let me
chaos.
check that
He's
fact.
a god of destruction.
Oh yeah. Duh. Never mind. Who's the God of Chaos?
I don't know. That might be Kratos. No, he's a god of
Something
war.
like-
Damn it, I was
Oh, it's
wrong. It's
cute.
984. I had the 9 in the
So the god
4
of
right.
chaos.
So this
cute.
article is misleading with their size comparison.
Oh.
So they're preparing for this now, even though it's not supposed to be here till 2029.
Yeah, and it's not. It's gonna.
It's not-
fly-
yeah,
it's
it's
gonna
not
go
hitting
past
us.
It's gonna graze.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know. Something could hit it in space and change its trajectory. Who fuck
Yeah.
knows?
Aerosmith's still alive, right?
Who?
Bruce
Aerosmith?
Willis.
Bruce
yeah.
Willis.
Aerosmith? Yeah.
That awful
We
movie.
just need.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Awful.
good
That was the
movie. I
greatest.
love that
I was-
movie.
it
If
was
I
awful.
could stay
No.
with you, just to
I love
hear
that
you
movie.
breathe in.
That's not how science
Why'd
works.
you
That was good.
smile you? I love that
That was
movie
a
though.
good
It's so
singer, man.
fun. When he goes
Don't
out.
want to fall on the stage.
Wow.
sorry.
I love that song. I love that movie.
I didn't know you
support
liked
it.
Aerosmith that much,
I
bro.
don't. It's just that song. Just that
It's
song,
so
that
good.
movie. I don't know anything else they sing.
It's so good. No, I'm right there with you.
That's the only song they
Wait,
have.
so there's
actually.
no more PV
I'm kidding.
part
That's not true.
stories?
I only had that one. I'm trying to keep
One
them
per
shorter.
episode.
Okay.
We'll have more PP parts later.
Two
Don't
of them
worry.
are follow-ups too. So follow up for drugs. You can thank Joe Rogan
Oh, I saw that.
for getting mushrooms legalized in Colorado.
Yes.
He helped. How did he?
He helped.
Was instrumental in this?
I
Why they
saw
listen
that.
to his
Apparently,
podcast?
yeah.
Or did he actually like do some?
He might have been
civil
doing
work?
some.
He had a last minute plug on Twitter, and then people showed out to vote.
Oh,
Oh,
shit!
shit.
Oh, so he got the vote out.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Influential.
That's what's up. I don't know if that's a good.
He
thing.
talked about it on his podcast
Yeah,
too,
that
like
too.
a week
Mhm.
ago, or maybe
Good
even
for him.
before.
Well,
I-
he's all of. I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
He
Joe-
likes drugs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Go,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
What's that
appreciate
joke?
you.
He's like, "Have you ever tried what is
DMT?
he- DMT?" Oh my God. Yeah.
Joe wrote. It's like
Everybody.
Joe something
What?
something. Rogan.
It's like
DMT?
nobody, and then Joe Rogan. Have you ever tried DMT?
DMT.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but have you tried DMT?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's
He-
good
he
though.
knows
It's going to
of
help a lot
drugs.
of people who have depression. I'm actually more and more. I feel like I'm like, okay, how do I get some shrooms? Because I'm depressed.
I'm still on the fence about the psychedelic trip
I'm not.
situation. So I don't know. I mean, but if it's helping people, cool. I'm still not taking
wanna
mushrooms.
try it.
I just want other people to. Can
don't
we do
need
it
it.
together? Wait, who wants to try it with me? Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a shrooms party.
I'm down.
I'll guide you guys.
We
down
live
the
in
road.
Colorado, by the
No
way.
socks on.
We don't live in.
We live in Colorado.
No,
Definitely.
socks. What?
I don't know. You
Yeah.
guys are tripping. I don't know.
We live in
Just
Atlanta,
take your socks
Colorado.
off to be safe.
Be safe. Yeah, take your socks off. You don't want static electricity.
We actually live in
I
the
don't know,
country of
bro.
Georgia.
I don't do these things.
Next
I
to
won't.
Russia.
All right. What else we got? What else we got?
That was just confusing. So I don't know if it's hardcore, but it's the last one I got. Florida woman pulls an alligator from her pants during a traffic stop.
Oh, that happens every day.
whoa.
Happens every day. Especially.
Wait, what?
Happens
I actually have
every
no idea
day.
what to hear or visualize.
a baby alligator?
I'm
I mean, it had to
assuming.
be.
I think it was a
Wait.
baby alligator.
A
Yeah.
Florida woman pulled an alligator out of her pants during a traffic stop.
What was
on
it doing in her
Monday.
pants?
A strange move that might just rank in the state's list of odd reported crimes.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's Florida. It may not rank, but still, that's it. That
What's
is-
that one meme where it's like you put your
yeah, it was a baby.
you put your age or you put your birth date or something, and then you put
Look
Georgia
at how
Florida
cute
Florida
it
man.
is.
Wait, that's a thing?
It's cute.
It's really
Yeah.
funny.
Wait,
What do you do? What?
you can do that?
Oh no, it's like it's a meme that went around where it's basically like you go and you search your birthday and then Florida Man and
Oh,
you
yes,
post
yes,
the article
yes,
that comes
yes,
up
yes,
because
yes.
it's every
I
single
did that
day
before. I
a
did
Florida
that.
Man does
I think
something
I tried to do that.
hilarious.
Mine.
Bro, we got to do it one day. We definitely got to do it
One day.
because it's ridiculous that
so
there's definitely
funny.
going to be something on your birthday.
Every single day.
Florida's a crazy,
And
we
it's
might-
always hilarious too. It's not just like Florida Man is arrested for drugs. It's like Florida Man is arrested for, going into a Walmart only wearing a cowboy hat and peeing all over the
Let's do it.
Twinkies.
Let's
Like,
do one real quick.
bro.
Hold on, I'm doing my birthday.
Yeah, you put your birthday in, put Florida Man. Something
Yo,
gonna
do
pop
mine
up.
after.
Oh, for
my
real.
God.
It's ridiculous.
I don't remember what mine was.
People get offended when they say
Half
Florida's
naked man
crazy.
walks goat in rain.
Yep.
I can see you doing that.
It's so funny.
On your birthday.
November 13, 1993.
Hey,
I think it's just November 13th.
Oh, I got one.
Oh.
I
That's
got
a
one.
long time ago.
January 5th. Florida man puts dragon lizard in his mouth, smacks people with it.
Is the lizard okay?
I don't know.
Why? Why?
November
Yeah.
13th, Florida man dresses as Fred Flintstone and gets pulled over for DUI.
Hell yeah.
Do March 13th. Do
Always
March
so
13th.
wacky every time.
March 13th, man. Let's see what we got. What we got?
You guys are number twins.
March 11th is funny.
I'm-
Florida man church loses tax exempt status because it's just a nightclub.
Can you do October 17th? That's mine.
March
Is it
13th,
really? I didn't know.
Drunk, shirtless Florida man harasses people at a park.
That's every day.
That's normal shit.
That was
man.
basic.
Yeah, that's Jersey
Oh man,
shit.
man, yours is dark.
What?
Florida man gets 40 years for plotting to bomb Target stores.
Whoa.
And we love Target.
I
so
love Target. Why did he do that?
I don't know.
What was yours? Dumpling, what was yours?
The Flintstone one.
Oh, that was Flintstone.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's so
Yeah.
funny.
We might need to change the last
I
segment.
love that.
Of
Of just like
hardcore
Florida
to
man.
Florida man.
Yeah,
And just do
to
Florida,
Florida
man,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
Like
Or
just
just
what's
weird.
Florida man up to today?
Right, let's check on Florida
That's
man.
so
I mean, that was the weak
funny.
category.
Yeah. We might do that.
I love it.
Oh shit.
What?
The challenge.
Yes.
So we can just tell the group now.
Yeah, let's tell them now. All right.
So the challenge we proposed last week,
it's going down.
Oh boy.
it's called the Miso Challenge.
Miso
Miso
challenge.
soup.
Yes. This challenge we are putting out to everybody, all our listeners. We're like a neighborhood here, like a community of family. Everybody who's listened to us, I appreciate every single listen or view that you've given us, and hope you continue to be a part of our neighborhood. So in this neighborhood, we're going to have a little bit of fun. And this challenge is called the Miso Challenge. First of all, the rules. In order to win, you have to post yourself doing the challenge as many times as possible in different locations. Whoever posts the most with the hashtag thesafe-space
Miso.
or
Miso Challenge.
Yeah, Miso Challenge. The Safe Space Miso Challenge.
That's a long hashtag.
It is a
That
long
is-
Should it be
Hashtag.
Miso challenge and then TSS? The safe space?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. We can do that.
Maybe just-
TSS Miso Challenge.
Yeah.
TSS Miso Challenge. That'll be down the subscription. That hashtag will be out there. Post your pictures doing this challenge. Whoever posts the most pictures will win a $50 gift card. Visa gift card. Okay?
Nice.
We're
Use
giving
it
it away.
anywhere.
Nobody on the show can win the card, unfortunately. We will have a punishment. That we're
gonna
going to
be?
decide.
What's it gonna be?
We'll decide that. I don't know.
Who decides this punishment?
But what is the actual challenge? Ethan, what's the challenge?
So you got to get a little sticky note or Dymo label, anything that says horny, right? So then you go into a store, find a box of miso soup, and put the sticky note next to the soup that says miso. So it says miso horny.
That's funny. That's mischievous.
Miso.
The god of
If I go into my
kids.
local Publix, I'm like, Amanda, you fuck.
I'm
Damn
doing
it, she
it.
got
No,
me.
I'm totally doing it. I'm good at that stuff. I'll do it.
All right.
What if
Go ahead.
What if you have to step up and you buy that one and you have to see the reaction of the person? They're like,
That's even
That
better.
would be funny. Oh, I don't know. Do you want to push our luck? Let's just get them to take the pictures.
I mean, take
and
the picture.
upload.
Bonus points if you
Bonus points.
purchase it.
You,
through the
yeah,
line.
you get like 2 bonus points.
All right, bonus points if you leave the sticky on there and buy it and
Love
record
it.
the cashier's reaction. Oh man, that's
Oh,
our
man.
first challenge that we throwing down. Like I said, it's a $50 Visa gift card out there for you. So if you're the only person that participates and you upload one picture, you may win.
Congratulations.
So just start with
God.
one. Start with one. You know, I don't think it's a real hard challenge. It's going to be interesting for us on the show, though. Whoever uploads the least amount,
Ugh.
what happens?
It's gonna be me.
What's the punishment?
I thought we were going to eat bugs or something.
Yeah, we're gonna eat a bug. I don't want to eat a bug.
Oh, he already eats bugs.
why? Because he's
Why?
Asian.
I'm Asian?
No, he eats cats.
No. We can eat crickets. The farmers market
That's
has
too
crickets.
easy,
Oh.
bro.
Are they already cooked?
That's
and
too
stuff?
easy.
Yeah, they're like cooked
We
already.
gotta eat some testicles.
They're probably good.
I'm not eating
Wow.
a
No,
live
no, no.
bug.
Eat some testicles.
You want to eat a live bug?
We're
No.
vegan. Also, we have
Yeah.
Bugs are
stipulations.
animals.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding, I'm
she
kidding.
said, what did you say? Yeah.
what did
I
she
would
have
eat a
a-
bug. I would eat a bug.
Mandy
But
bugs.
You said
I
that
won't
last
She should eat a
time.
bug.
Bugs are too
I
easy.
won't eat testicles though.
For who?
He just said eat testicles.
For no.
He said
Where are you
that.
gonna get them from?
Farmers market, like you just
They
said.
just sell testicles.
Oh boy, the Asian markets too. They have everything.
We,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Really
No,
gonna,
no. This is what we do. We
How
go,
about a hot chili pepper?
we
No, I hate them.
we go to the what is it? DeKalb
Look,
Farmers
look
Market.
at all your
Y'all
faces.
trying
as
to
soon as I
kill
said
us?
that.
And we
This
get
is
an
our
entire-
first challenge. Let's get in easy.
We're going to the DeKalb Farmers Market and we're going to buy an entire shark.
No. That-
I'm so
You can
down.
buy a
They're
Shark
not-
fin soup.
Yeah, they do have a lot of that
no,
shit.
they're
No,
really
we just saw.
endangered.
Yeah, I just saw.
I hate
What were we
it.
watching?
I'm
They were
angry.
talking about that. That was fucked
Yeah.
up. They killing all the sharks for
Shut
no
up.
goddamn reason.
No sharks.
Anyway, yeah, let's just say bugs. Already cooked bug snacks that other people already
Yeah,
eat.
yeah.
Whoever
Or how about live
whoever
cricket?
does the least amount has to eat them.
Okay.
How many?
Let's say 10.
Oh man.
What kind?
Okay.
No, they have to eat one for every post that someone else did.
Yeah,
So if I do
like that.
15,
And you only do one, you got to eat 14 of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like
So
that. Yeah.
there we go. So that's going to be our punishment
That's
if we
cute.
lose, like I said. But anybody who wins and posts enough pictures, you will be getting a $50 Visa gift card. Please participate.
Hell yeah.
Hashtag TSS Miso Challenge. That's MISO if you don't know. Miso soup, which is kind of delicious.
I love
if you're-
miso
All right,
soup.
so just to
It's also
clarify,
good for your gut
we have to go
bacteria.
to a store that has miso soup,
Mhm.
put a sticky note that says horny on it,
And take a picture.
And
and take a picture like you holding it next to you and just
You have to put it next to the miso so it
You
reads
just
like.
put it-
yeah.
I don't
But
think
then
that-
you don't have to put your
You
face
don't
in
have
it
to
if
be-
you don't want. Just a picture of that in different places.
okay.
But how do you verify?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just like a different picture with a different box is probably enough.
Yeah, you
right?
can't have the same box of soup.
I'm going to the Asian market
Oh man.
because you know how many boxes of misos they got.
See, the funny thing is, I was going to do the same thing. In
Boom.
Hey, I know
Hey,
where it
there's
is.
a hack for all you people
There
out
is.
there.
There is. If you
Yeah.
if you participate and you hack, hey, kudos to you. You win.
Yeah.
You played the system.
We're cutting that out.
Oh my
Nah, we
God.
leaving that it.
We're making it too easy. That's good. They'll
Yeah, this is our
participate.
first challenge, man. I
Handing
hope
it
you
to you.
guys participate. Just have some fun with us in our little safe space neighborhood. In our safe space, we like to do weird shit. So there it is. Anybody else? Anything else you want to say? Nobody want to call back to the
No.
dreary beginning
I think
of
it's.
this podcast?
I think it was good. I think it's
Or no?
important, and yeah, I'm proud of everything I said.
Cool. Cool.
No government should tell you what to do with your genitals.
Hell
it's just kind of weird.
yeah.
You goddamn right.
Yeah.
You goddamn right.
Stay the fuck out of my.
My mom don't even
uterus.
tell me what to do with my genitals. Son.
Yeah.
No one should.
Happy Mother's
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Now go punch some Nazis.
Wait, what about circumcision?
Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started. Let's do that next
Boom.
time. Let's do that next time. I'll get
We
y'all.
can pick up on that
I'll
next
get y'all.
time. All right. Well, shit. That's it for us in the safe space. Definitely appreciate you guys joining us in our little neighborhood, in our corner of the world. We had a good time on this one for the latter part. In the beginning part, some very interesting, important conversation that we had. Hope you listen and have this conversation amongst yourselves and with other people. Continue to pay attention to what's going on in the world. But we also going to have a little fun in the meantime. Pay attention to the challenge. Hashtag TSS Miso Challenge will be in the description under this video. Like and subscribe. Thank you guys for listening. And if nobody has told you today, happy Mother's Day. And I love you.